I think it's time. Can we do this? I think there's a thing here. Let's go. Let's go. There it is. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is September 19th, 2024. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? I already see a handful of folks wandering in. This is great. Thank you so much. I need to double check. Is that actually working right? Yeah. Okay. Right. No, that's good. And yeah, we're okay on that. Let's do this. Let's go over and let's say hello to folks that are tuning in. My goodness, we're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. I don't have the YouTube up here. Let me get the YouTube visible for me so I can see the folks that are chatting over on YouTube, and I can do any moderation if I need to. There we go. Oh my goodness, Guacamole getting us started here quick.
Guacamole just resubscribed for 43 months. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much for the support. 43 months. Much appreciate. I got a cup of coffee here. Didn't sleep too well last night. Not sure why. The last couple nights I've woken up more tired than when I went to bed. Maybe it's because I've been doing some late night Overwatch sessions. I don't know. But it's been an absolute blast those couple evenings. Let me tell you, I've had a lot of fun. And I do have the keyboard camera running here. We'll turn that on when we get over to the other screen. And we're doing some coding because we're using the Digma Defy keyboard.
Pawlowski just
and Pawlowski with
resubscribed
52
for 52 months. Good to learn from your broadcasts.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate the support. Let me take a look here. Let me back up and welcome in the folks that have been here chatting in the chat room during the getting started screen. PC Nerd got us started first thing there. Surly Dev, good afternoon to you. Robert Stefan, good afternoon. Yes, good morning, good evening, or good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes. I'm doing well. C Sharp Titan in Melbourne. Hope you're having a very good late evening there. Chaotic Monkey is here. Yeah, we're doing well. C Sharp Titan with a question there. I'll come back to in just a second. M. Pulaski's in Washington. Hello. Hope you're having a very good early morning there and have, my goodness, yeah, cup of coffee, breakfast gets started there. Joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Dr. Cox, hello. Weird Beard Dev, happy Thursday to you. And Phil Vesey, good afternoon. So I have a couple questions there from C Sharp Titan. Let me cue those up, and we'll talk about what I want to do today. So today's the big announcement day. I've been kind of vocal about this, that I'm a big fan of working programming while wearing a virtual reality headset. And the idea is with a virtual reality headset, and I have it here, right? Right now I use the Meta Quest 3. Okay, it's a big headset, really heavy in the front, and when you put this on, it's kind of intimidating to other folks that aren't familiar with what you're doing. Like you put this thing on, and it is heavy. It weighs a lot on your head, and is going to give you a good neck workout. The app that I use is called Immersed, and you can find it at immersedvr.com. And what it lets you do, regardless of which headset operating system, it lets you replicate your screen that you would normally be using with your PC and create multiple virtual screens with it. Not map other applications, but create additional screens that you can work with and place however you'd like in a bunch of very exciting environments. There's cabins in the woods. There's platforms up in the clouds. There's even space stations, and you can watch the Earth and Moon spin over your head as you're working. Really cool stuff. I so enjoy working in that space because with the headset on and the glasses on, I can get completely focused and have all this extra space to work, right? quite literally space to work. And it's just a phenomenal experience. So, um, the company that makes Immersed is hosting an event today. I was invited to attend, but I'm right between two conferences. I was in Las Vegas last week. I'm at Tech Bash in the Poconos next week. I'm right between two conferences, and picking up and flying to Austin, Texas for a conference just was not in the cards for me to go and attend and see the release of this. But it's called the Visor, and you can learn more about their device at visor.com. There's the link in chat. So I've pre-ordered a Founders Edition of these. I've mentioned this a couple times on the stream before. They're showing the device for the first time today. In about a half hour, 45 minutes, they're going to be live streaming their event where they're doing the announcement, where they're sharing it. It's live from Austin, Texas. It'll be on YouTube, and I'd like to watch it with you out there, discuss it, talk about it, and hopefully, see something really cool that's going to be in my hands before the end of the year, hopefully. So that's the goal. It is not an inexpensive device. They're a startup company, so they do need to charge a little bit of a premium to make the device. So, really excited to see what's happening with that. Let me get some music playing in the background here, and we'll go through some more of the questions that are there in chat. I'm going to use the Synthwave playlist today, and let's start with this. Turn 1 is what this is called. There we go. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. It's Stream Beats. You can learn more at streambeats.com and check out all the other playlists that are available. There's playlists in different genres, that is. There's playlists available on Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Spotify, like I'm listening to here today. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for putting this music together that we're listening to today. So let me back up and answer the first question that we have here from C# Titan. They've been using Link, L-I-N-Q, for several years now, and have never really understood why the .NET team created it. What was the need, purpose, and is it still being actively developed and improved? Oh, yes. It is being developed and improved. There's a number of new features coming to Link this release. So Link, Language Integrated Natural Query. It's a whole SQL-like syntax that you can embed directly in C#. However, most folks actually use the method syntax for it. You just tack predicates onto the name of the collection you want to query. The reason for it was to make querying databases easier. The original versions of it way back in 2008 with .NET Framework 3.5 were to enable queries against SQL Server, make it easier to work with SQL Server. In the time since, because they made it then available to run Link against XML, again, as method objects against things, they've added new filters, new capabilities, new methods to allow you to interact with your data and do it in a way that is very expressive and easy to read, instead of having to write some large for loops and with break statements in there because you just want to see, hey, is there anything in this collection? Or is there anything that matches this condition? To be able to generate and write those statements in a very expressive way is something that, quite frankly, folks in other languages are jealous of because they don't have Link. And when you see how easy it is to do set-based operations using Link, it absolutely... It is something that folks are very interested in. Is it being actively improved? Yes. You can look at the last 2 or 3 of Stephen Tobe's blog posts where he talks about .NET performance, and he specifically calls out different Link methods that have been tuned and improved. So things where you're searching and filtering, much faster now. And I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but each year they tune and improve the link experience. It generates code that most times is significantly faster than what you would be coding yourself if you wrote the loops and set-based interaction yourself. So definitely something that I now recommend. Use LINQ. It's very expressive, very clear what you're trying to do, and most times it's going to be much faster than what you would write by hand. Okay. Continuing scrolling through chat here, let me see. How does the dog cope with it when I have it on? He kind of looks at me funny, but he sees me looking at him and talking to him, and he gets it. He like, okay, like Dad's got glasses on, like sunglasses. Okay, whatever. C# Titan also asks, any new updates from the team about NPG SQL, the Postgres driver for .NET 9 preview? That version is up to date and works with the release candidate. So release candidate 1 of .NET 9 was issued last week. .NET Aspire, the library that wraps that version, isn't registering the configuration properly. There is an update for that. I could download a daily to get it to run. I don't like to download and deploy dailies. So when RC2 comes out, we'll build and deploy the new version of Aspirify with .NET 9. Continuing to scroll here, let's see. It's certainly much cheaper than the Apple Vision Pro. You tried it on in Australia, didn't like it. It's around $7,000. Yes, the Apple Vision Pro. What folks don't understand about it, it was initially announced as a developer device. However, Apple started slowly peeling back and removing the developer descriptor with the device. And folks thought it was just a full-blown commercial device that you could use. And quite frankly, it's not ready for it because the apps, the interactions aren't there. So, totally agree with you. It's not there. I haven't tried the Vision Pro. From what I've seen of it, it does the same things that a Meta Quest does, and I can get a Meta Quest for $300. The Meta Quest 3 is $500. Meta's event where they're announcing, I believe it's called the Quest 3S, is next week. And that one supposedly has a new processor, has a couple new capabilities, and it's going to go back to the $300 American price point. I look at $300 as the sweet spot for these virtual reality devices, or augmented reality, or the XR devices, because they do both. And the Meta Quest headsets do that because they've got cameras on the front. Right? When you look at this device, it's got 3 cameras on the front here. So you can see, there's a pass-through mode where it turns on the cameras and you can see, right? There's also proximity cameras on the corners here, so it knows when you're getting close to things. The Apple Vision, same deal, right? It had cameras on the front, so you could do this pass-through experience, but it also did this creepy thing where it broadcast your eyes on the front of the device. And they looked really creepy. Not to mention, it put cameras, full cameras, on the inside of the device. Neat idea. I mean, I think we're still in the ideation phase of this, where we're coming up with ideas, we're putting new capabilities into these devices, trying it out and seeing what does the non-technical community, what do they find appealing, what do they find interesting about this? And what I like about the Visor device, and you can check it out at the website I linked, the device looks like a pair of sunglasses. It's still a little bit bulky, but it's thin and light enough that it looks like, to the average person walking by, it looks like a pair of sunglasses. Now, Snap's spectacles, dear Lord, they look like an oversized pair of glasses with really wide rims, and quite frankly, they look like birth control. They're awful looking. Nobody's going to look at that and go, hey, that's pretty attractive looking. No. They're also in, and they've completely branded the Spectacles as a developer kit device. There's, what's the killer app for it? What's interesting to use with it? Nothing yet. Codebase Alpha, hello. Never got a hold of SQL-like syntax. The method chaining to the rescue, I agree, Robert. Method chaining in Link is very, very good. There are 2 really good Deep.net episodes about Link on the .net YouTube channel. Yes, where our friend Scott Hanselman talks to Stephen Tobe about building Link and why and some of the interesting bits about it. Yes. So, thank you, Robert, with the link there. What's that YouTube link? That is... Yeah, the deep dive on Link. Yep. Definitely recommend checking that out. So, the extension method version of Link is great, but I don't like the query language version. I agree. The query language version can be a little bit confusing because you start typing what you think is SQL, and some of the terms some of the clauses you have to actually turn around the other way, and you end up dropping into C# method syntax anyway. Good morning, Napalm. Hello. Just like C# Titan says, just like the iPhone 16 Pro features won't come till October and some next year. Right. Lasai, hello.
Bulkai just resubscribed for 25 months.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that support. Really appreciate it. I think when we talk about Apple not releasing operating system features with the device in September, how we've departed the days of Steve Jobs. He would never let that ship like that. So there's definitely a shift in culture happening with our friends in Cupertino, California. Let's see what happens. The fact they're holding back on an operating system feature at product release date doesn't give me confidence. Ohana Fubuki, hello. Starting to test out .NET Aspire, a bit confused by app host. Does adding a service always attempt to create a service instead of reference? Say an existing resource. Example would be using EF-SQL. I want to use an existing database. Great job yesterday. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed the event. Yesterday was for the Azure developer, for Azure developers, .NET Aspire Day, and we talked about the Aspirify.net website. So to answer your question here, so app host is where you can define all of the services. Don't even think about services, but all of the individual integrations that you can use, that you want to use with your .NET Aspire managed system. When you add services, it's on your developer workstation, it does start up containers for that service. By default, that's the behavior. But you can also add connection strings directly to connect to existing resources. I do that in Aspirify to connect to my Redis resource. I can show that code real quick, because that's a fantastic question here that I want to make sure is clear for folks, that you don't have to use everything. You can kind of bebop around and use the things that make you happy, the things that the things that will enable your particular configuration as you need it. So yeah, here we go. So let's go over here to the full screen code. Ta-da! There we've got the Digma Defy here. I need to update the keyboard command. So I add Redis here locally, but I publish this as a connection string so that it, at publish time, when I send that out to the big Microsoft Azure cloud, it doesn't actually say go create a Redis resource. I give it a connection string and it will connect to an existing resource in my production space. You can certainly pass in, right? All this is doing is giving you a way to start a container and pass along that connection string to other resources. So my website, right? I'm adding connection strings, right? Where is it? With reference cache, right there. All that's doing is passing in a connection string as an environment variable. So you can certainly, like I did here, define other environment variables that are connection strings to other things. In this case, it's my Microsoft Client ID that I'm passing in as an environment variable, and it's a value that I've captured and stored up here in my user secrets. Add this parameter. Here's the name of the parameter in my user secrets to go fetch. It is true, it's a secret, so that when we do publish it to my production space, treat that as a secret, store it in a key vault, obscure it as much as possible during the publication process. So I hope that answers your questions and shows you a little bit more about what you can do with the configuration here. Happy to answer more questions. Let me head back over here and continue through. Did it? It didn't identify this hat. It should have. It knows this hat. It knows this hat. Nope, didn't find it. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. I don't know why it throws that error. But I am positive that it knows this. No. All right, I'm going to continue. You just watched 2 to 3 videos of Scott and Steven, got your mind blown away. Yeah, they go very deep on topics. I stay very beginner to intermediate. I don't typically go into advanced topics because it loses folks very quickly. I'm a bit more of the front door, get folks interested and involved with .NET type of interaction. Pressure to release something with AI was simply too high. I agree. For the Apple folks, Tommy. Yeah. Right. It's something that, you've got to at least mention it in there or else you're going to fall behind. Yeah. The videos go so deep you feel like a 5-year-old in the presence of Stephen Hawking. Yes. Null reference exception, the most frustrating of all. Totally. So I was mentioning the Visor device. We're going to watch that. We're going to watch their announcement event. It starts in about 20 minutes here. We'll talk about and have a good time learning a little bit more about their virtual reality device that's optimized for running the Immersed app. So there's a little service that runs in the background here on my desktop that the headset connects to and shows off, right? The desktop and starts these other virtual desktops that we can connect to and work with. So, peeking around here just to kind of keep up and see if there's anything we need to be aware of. No, we're good. There was a comment on Twitter that says, from this person saying, I always wanted to try coding with VR, but the current bulky headsets are way too cumbersome and hot. Agreed. When you're wearing that, the Quest 3 I think is particularly bad about it. It's a very heavy, varies an overstatement. It's a heavy experience. And if you look, there's a strap that goes across the top of your head so that your entire head can handle that weight. But what happens then is it's pressure on your neck. That's not great. Null is $1 billion mistake. It can be. Robert Steffen says a colleague got an idea to integrate some AI functionality into an expenses tracking application to get some insights and tips. Love that idea. That's a great idea. Is it possible to display what I see through one of these VR headsets via OBS? Yes. It might make you sick because my head is not perfectly level, and when I turn, you aren't expecting me to turn. So I can show that, and we can do that at some point. So ads are kicking in here for the next 2 minutes. And then they'll be disabled for about the next 45 minutes afterwards. I wanted to go in. There's a couple things we need to update in the Fritz bot that hangs out and watches chat and responds to things here. I wanted to go in and put a couple fixes in place, tweak and tune some things, because, man, we haven't touched that code in a long, long time. Tell me it finds the hat this time. No, still doesn't find the hat. I don't know why. I'm gonna do that. Can I see do I see myself making a VR hat in a VR app in the future? Yes, I do. I think there's an opportunity there. Yeah, Penn State Gray S, 60%. Close enough. Close enough. I think there's definitely something to be said for it. Particularly the Visor is intended to be more of a... It feels like a more business-oriented device. So I went to the Visor page. I held down the wrong button. This one. Let me head over and show you the device again. We can talk about this. Right, it looks like a pair of sunglasses. When you see it on somebody's face like that, that doesn't scream to me, you're using virtual reality, you're using augmented reality, and I can't interact with you, right? There's a significant amount of space between the bottom of the device and your face. These are mock-ups. So it's still not 100%, oh, it's just a pair of sunglasses. But it sure looks like it. But the experience to have effectively like noise canceling for your eyes. This is something that Steve Jobs actually mentioned, right? Having great noise canceling headphones, but noise canceling for your eyes so you can black out the things that you're not working on. Really great stuff, and being able to see, you can see how this person has six screens. He had 5 screens in front of him that they're able to look at and work with. And you can see a bunch of other folks talking about it. We're going to learn more about this today. Yeah, noise canceling for your eyes. So there are pre-orders that they are taking now. I'm gonna shamelessly share my my referral link there. If you use that link with that referral code, you'll get $50 off. I'll get $50 off, and you'll be among the first to get them because they are making and issuing them first come first serve. So, C# Titan with another question here. What are my thoughts on certifications? Went for a job interview. I had 90% of what they were looking for, but because I wasn't Microsoft certified or hadn't contributed to open source, they didn't move to the next stage. It depends on the type of organization you're interacting with, right? It's very cool to be able to watch movies like that in one of these devices. But this is the type of thing that I do a lot of. I think certifications are things that consulting firms and large enterprises are looking for. It's interesting that they're looking for certifications or open source contributions. Because I think for many organizations, it's one or the other. Are you certified in this? Have you written and contributed to the community? Is the way that smaller organizations, more nimble organizations, want to interact with folks and developers. So I think there's a difference between those two cultures. Having one organization that's looking for both, I don't know if they were looking for one, didn't see it, and went looking for the other to say, well, okay, maybe they've at least got some of this. Really, what they're looking for is a third party that is validating that you can do what you say you're doing. And that's right. They don't want to do the homework of, let me give you a test and see if you know how to do the things that our applications are capable of doing and manage and work with those. So I'm not sold on certifications as the only way to validate that somebody has skills. I think open source contributions are a great measurement of that also. Reading somebody's blog, the content that they've generated in various locations is another great way to do that. I humble brag that there are folks that have tried to interview me and say, hey, we'd like to give you an opportunity for a new job. Can you send us your resume, and then can you send us some examples of things that you've coded? To which I always respond, you approached me, and you don't know the content that I work on. Like, there's a reason that you approached me, and you don't know the content that I work on and what I do and what I would bring to your organization. Now, I'm very unique in this space, in what I do and what I can deliver and help different tech companies with. That's not something that everybody can do, but I've got 955 episodes that I've broadcast, almost 4,000 hours of live video content and other video content on YouTube, megabytes of source code that I've shared on GitHub, a blog that's been around for almost 15 years. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge name in the space, but if you reached out to me, you know who I am. And you're asking me to provide some evidence of work that I've done? So, Junie says, how you doing there, Junie? If I see you in those, you better be coming out of a DeLorean and tell me that we're not where we're going in the future. There's not going to be any roads. Yeah. They do look awesome, and there's different colored shields for these. I originally had ordered the blue shield, but the Founders Edition, which is the one that I ordered, paid a little bit more for, so that I'm put at the front of the queue. I got the red and black shield. When they allow accessories to be ordered later, I'll get the blue one, because you can swap these out. They're magnetic, and they help keep the light out. So I'm very interested in what accessories they're going to announce with this today. But the demos up here, they're always showing black shield with these silver stems. I got black stems on mine so that the top and the sides are black. So they've done a nice job designing this. It doesn't just use the stems going all the way around. It also, they say, will use a head strap so that you can have that on your noggin, on your head, on your kopf, and take some of the pressure off your ears. So they look really awesome. So C# Titan, here's the deal. Let me go to Discord, because there's a very active Discord where folks have been talking about this. They have a... No, let me go to his Twitter. I say Twitter, but then I'm going to type x.com. Up here. Let me go to Renji. And yes, people are getting ready to leave for TwitchCon, and I'm not at TwitchCon this year. Here he is. Check out this guy. So this is an executive from from Qualcomm talking about the device.
How small it is. It's crazy. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? It's the smallest standalone headset out there. Isn't that crazy? That's awesome.
So they're commenting about just how light it is small.
I know, isn't that crazy?
This is all NDA, and they weren't allowed to publish here's the device yet because it's a very competitive space. So we're looking forward to actually seeing and hearing more about that in about 10 minutes now. How you doing there, Asabla? Hello. Movies are usually a social experience, but the multi-screen could be amazing. Jeremy, that's as somebody who works in tech, right? We love having more screen real estate, right? That's why I use a 43-inch monitor here. What you see me displaying on screen here, there's my hand. This is only half my display, right? I only share half my screen for you to be able to see here. This is just the left side. The right side is where I have all my production stuff, and I have my camera lined up so that I'm looking at OBS and chat, and it looks like I'm looking at you. But when I'm working on code, it's over here. So I like having lots of space, but I want more, and especially when we're on the road. This thing is phenomenal. Not the Visor, but the Immersed app is amazing working with a laptop. All right, and I feel like wearing this, it's going to be even easier to use a laptop on a plane. So, certifications are important to consultancies. Yes, agreed, Asabla. That was one of the criteria that I cited up front. You're absolutely right. There are consultant companies that are always trying to get new business. One of the ways they prove that they're competent, you're right, is yes, 80% of our staff has these certifications, so you can be sure that we know what we're talking about. So that's absolutely one of those. Eddie works for a big organization. They want Eddie to be certified in Azure, AWS, and GCP. Really? Absolutely a unicorn. We don't want you to just know one of the big public clouds. We want you to know all three of them and be certified. Somebody with that skill set is very expensive. Very expensive because they're very unique. The demand for that is very high, and the supply is very low. You'll find folks that know Azure, folks that know AWS, and folks that know GCP, but folks that know two of those, a little bit harder to come by. Folks that know all three, very hard to come by. No, they did not do their homework. You're right, Eddie. Depends on certifications as well. Totally agree. There are some certifications that are in much more demand than others. That Cisco CCNE certification that you got back in 2005, not so much. That Novell certified NetWare administrator from 1997, no, not in demand anymore. Can the glasses run .NET? So they've been very hush-hush NDA about all of the software and what it can do. We know it runs on a Snapdragon processor. We know that it's been manufactured by Pegatron. The processor's been manufactured by Qualcomm. We know that the displays, each display, so each of the two lenses, is 4K. We're going to learn more about that in the next little bit here. You have a 49-inch display. You love it, although the new 57-inch does give you screen envy. I feel that way about the 49 because I've only got 43 inches on ultra-wide here. Robert Tables only has AWS skill set, and he's already very expensive. And I'm sure that makes Mrs. Tables very happy. So congratulations. I'm happy to see you here, my friend. Yes, right. If you're a certified consultant and you've got a track record on one of the clouds, yeah, you're a valuable consultant, to be sure. Jeremy runs a triple monitor setup, but all of them could use an upgrade. Right, and when you go to upgrade them, each one of those displays is going to be $200-300 American a piece. Now you're in at $1,000 on the upgrade. Or with a device like this, it's $1,000 all in for the device. You get a 4K displays and you get 5 of them, and you can take it wherever you want. those 3 displays that you're going to eventually upgrade are going to be sitting there on a desk in your home office. And when you go and want to break out and work on something at the coffee shop, at the library, at the office, you've only got the one display on your laptop. 0 salary increase? Go pound sand, Eddie. Tell them to take a hike. Sorry. No. Hey, Reg. Reg says, don't have 3D vision, so all these devices like Visor are cool, but I can never use them. That's an interesting accessibility point there, Reg. I get it. So, if you mind, can I ask a few questions about that? Like, do you have good vision in one eye or the other, and that's why you don't have 3D vision, or is it you're lacking some capabilities in both eyes? Because I feel like there's a way for the operating system on a device like this to work around that. What frame rate? I believe they said it's at least 60. I don't remember if they said it would get to 90 or 120. And 90 and 120 is where we get into the butter zone. Once I open my laptop, it takes seconds to connect. It will have HD color pass-through, higher resolution than what's currently available on the market. That's awesome. Is it wireless? Yes. It can be wired as well. But the question of, is it just 3 degrees of freedom? No, 6 degrees of freedom. So it has a fixed IPD. So the iris locations on your eyes, right? All of us have a different, our eyes are positioned a little bit differently on our heads. You have a different size head, basically. IPD is the distance between your pupils. You have to send them a measurement, and when you order it, and they make sure that the visor is sized for you. So I talked to my eye doctor, got the measurement, and sent that over to them. My eye doctor already has it measured, so it was easy, right? They measure this distance when you get glasses made. But there are apps on your phone that you can use to measure it if you have never purchased glasses. But the question was about frame rate. Expected shipping date. There's information about it, but it is 4K. I do not see. There's somewhere here they talk about the details. They might not have mentioned the frame rate. Yeah, no, it puts me right back on the same one. So they were talking about it being a higher frame rate, but we're gonna jump in. This should be starting any second now. Full unveiling, 15 minutes, and they'll get started here. So, and I'll turn off the keyboard display when we get there. You have AWS and some Azure working more in Azure now. Very cool, Napalm. It does seem like Minority Report. Totally. I get it. I do. But I think it's a place where it's... I think it's a place where manufacturing smaller devices like this are a lot more ecologically friendly. They're greener than generating big boxes that project light into our eyes. So I think there's an opportunity for this to be a better visual this form factor. Maybe it's not this device, but this form factor to be a better long-term display that we use to interact with computing devices. Because this doesn't just interact with your PC. The Immersed app also works with your phone. So you can do the same thing with your phone or your tablet. That's really cool. People on Reddit said it's too good to be true for the price. I agree, Digital Dummy, but we're going to see in about 15 minutes here. I'm not familiar with amblyopia. Is that correct? Lets you use one eye at a time, not both together. Esotropia. So I feel like that's something that a device like this could accommodate, right? Because they could control and turn on, turn off. Definitely, I feel like there's an accessibility capability there that could be addressed with the operating system on, and I'm not just this device, but any type of VR headset. KPI Doll says, I break or lose my glasses very often, but sounds like an awesome setup. That sounds like my wife with her sunglasses. My wife drops her sunglasses all the time. And only within the last year or two have I purchased her a pair of Oakley sunglasses, and she hasn't lost it. We're in it about a year and a half year, and she hasn't lost her sunglasses. I'm like, all right, still staying in here, because she's learned, well, I primarily wear the sunglasses in the car and a couple other places, so keep it in the car, and it doesn't get lost.
One just resubscribed for 36 months.
3 years.
36 months. Well, hello.
Hello, thank you so much, Mythin. Really appreciate the support. Thank you. Kithril, welcome in, Kithril. They say, I've never used AR VR headsets, but I wonder about the long-term effects of focusing on something that close. Or does it fool the eyes by projecting the image? We'll hear in just a little bit. I definitely understand the concern. Asabla says 60 frames per second is workable. Under it will really start to strain your eyes. And that's what I felt with the Meta Quest 1, which only did 30 frames a second. The Meta Quest 2 would do 60 frames a second, and they were pushing it to try and get it to do 75 or 90. The Quest 3 does 90? What's the frame rate on the Quest 3? Meta Quest 3 frame rate. Look at that typing. I'm getting better here. Quest 3 specs. So, Quest 3, 110 degree field of view. That's nice. Lens separation, it's adjustable. There's a dial on it. There was a dial on these ones. There's a button that a little motor moves it back and forth. There you go. Max refresh rate is 120, but I think it defaults to 90. This one says it'll do 120. I never got it to 120 on the 2. But it only has 8 gig of RAM on the Quest 3. So what? Connect in, if you're doing something that needs more memory, you can connect and relay stuff from another device. The battery location is in the visor. This, I think, is interesting. And HTC released an update to their Vive device. Theirs is in the rear padding. And that helps to load balance it on your head. What the visor is doing and where they can kind of cheat here is the battery's external. Just like with the Apple Vision Pro, it's external. So you're going to have a cable running from it to a pocket somewhere. 3 hours. Yep, about 3 hours. Says 90 hertz on these. Okay. Hey there, Alu the Crow. Welcome in. Could imagine working in my laptop on a lap desk in a lazy boy with this. Jeremy, so yes, I do that right now. I've got the recliner laid back. I'm wearing my Meta Quest headset, and I've got my wireless keyboard that I can separate, and I put this in each one of the arms of the chair, and I'm typing and doing my thing, and the laptop is sitting over there on the table. Yes. Same person claiming to be the founder says it's not optimized for gaming. Yes, that must be. The name of the founder is a guy named Renji Bajoy. So, wonder if you can develop apps for the device. That's what we're waiting to hear. It mirrors your display, so you should be able to do Overwatch and have it transmit and at least have that square display in front of you. And they say that the Immersed app was updated to support ultra wide displays, so you can have a really wide, not just 16 by 9, right? But you can do, what is it, 21 by 9 display. Supposedly 90 plus frames per second needed to minimize motion sickness. Yep. But even then, like, seeing motion go by and your head not moving will get you motion sick. I was playing the game Riven, right? Do you remember Myst back in the day? The sequel to it is called Riven. And the game Riven was made available for the Meta Quest. And there is a vehicle that you ride that takes you from one island to another in the game. I just want to see screenshots. I don't want to play the. Fine. There, just that.
Your help.
Here you go. Riding in a little mine car. You go through this tunnel and it goes this and that. Oh! You're standing still in your living room or you're sitting on a couch and watching this. Like, if you don't move your head with it, you're going to get sick if you're not used to it. Yep, that's him. That's him, Billy. Yes. Does it limit the number of displays like some competitors do? The word right now is 5 displays. So you have the 1 physical display and 4 additional. There is one constraint that they added in over the summer, and that is it will only work if you have a single display connected to your device. So if you have a desktop that has 3 displays already and you want to add 5 more, it does not work. They purposely block at that. So you need to you can't just shut off the other displays. You have to physically disconnect them from the computer. So it works really good with a laptop, works really good with a phone or a tablet. With my PC here, I disconnect and reconnect my extra overhead display that I have. So, yes, there is a membership. It'll be very expensive in the long run. So here's the deal. They're selling the device as a loss leader. Right? Like $3.99 for a little startup is not a lot for inventing and coming up with this device. However, you do have to pay a membership fee of either $39.99 a month or $60 a month. I'm okay with that because they're going to be innovating and adding new features to the software on this. So to effectively take that $1,000 and stretch out that additional cost across 2 years, fine. I'd rather pay them that money over 2 years than pay a credit card over the 2 years. So I'm okay with that because it's clearly a reinvestment in a technology that I'm a fan of. So we'll see how that works for them. 4 minutes and they'll be starting, and there's chat going on over here. So we're definitely... The other thing, yeah, some folks are hinting at this. If you're outside the States, there are import fees that you may have to pay on shipping. The membership, I believe, so, right, it's $3.99 with membership. If you pay it all up front, you get a member. You don't have to pay the additional membership fee, right? So paying $3.99, 24 months at $40 a month is another, right, $960, which makes it then more expensive to pay it over time than to prepay the full amount. They're a small company and they're trying to make sure that they get paid and they cover their costs. So I get it. If you pay the full, right, this is the same way with your phone, right? If you buy a phone subsidized from Apple or from your carrier, you pay more for the phone over the 24 months that you have a payment plan. You're paying $20, $30, $40 a month. Fine. That's their thing, right? Versus if you pay for the whole phone up front, you're paying less over time for it. So that's Renji right there. Renji Bajoy is his name. I believe I pronounced that correctly. So, but the one I've ordered looks like that, and you see there's a battery pack that comes with it. But I wanted that one. because I love the way the blue looks. The red, that flare color, is only available with the Founders Edition. And the Founders Edition's a little bit extra and has some other benefits that come with it. So, including, it's one of the first ones that are shipped. So, I'm okay with supporting a software company that is stretching and doing more for it. Yep, you can pay the full amount for a bit of a discount. The subscription is always there, yes. It's just you're choosing whether you're going to be paying monthly for it or not. What they're hoping is that you find value from the membership so that you extend it and continue. That's exactly what I did, C# Titan. It was an early Christmas present for myself. So I do have a link if you're interested in checking it out and you want to get one of these and you want to get $50 discount. You want to, if you buy it using my referral code, I get a little bit of a discount as well. There's the referral code that I have for the device. We're on ads here for just the next few seconds. Minute and a half and they'll be opening this up. They do have an auditorium. They're actually in a theater in Austin, Texas. So I was invited to attend and be part of the first in-person trials. But because I was at a conference last week, I'm at a conference next week. Got a bunch of work to get done this week for .NET Conf. Plus, I had the Azure .NET Aspire Developer Day. I couldn't go to this. Just too much. So, waiting for them to press the Go Live button. And we should see this. Come on. Is this what it's like when you're waiting for me to press Go Live on a live stream? Just sitting there waiting and then pressing the refresh button. Come on, let's go. Hit the button. Do the thing. We want to... Yeah, the link isn't including the code. I don't know why. So, because it requires subscription, proprietary software, for whatever reason they go out of business, device becomes e-waste. It's a risk that you can take. They've got some strong ethics at this company. I think there's... They also are partnered with some very large companies. Qualcomm, Snapdragon processors, Pegatron. They're only making as many devices as they need. They're literally making them on demand. So we'll see here. I see people saying, did it start? Nope, still waiting. So, yeah, I do have a countdown. Like, there are a number of other streamers, and I'm not going to name any names, that just put up a going live soon screen and will come back 15, 20 minutes, 45 minutes later. Okay, I'm ready to get started. I just went and had my workout and then took a shower. Like, why did you press go live if you still had 3 or 4 other things that you were doing before actually going live? Like, did you think us schleps that were sitting here watching the going live screen waiting to see you didn't have other things to do? Come on. That's why I set it to 6 minutes. I'm going to come on in 6 minutes when we get started. Boom, let's go. They haven't let folks into the theater yet? What? Is this mixed reality, virtual reality, or just augmented reality? Yes, it does all of them. You try to keep people waiting a maximum of 5 minutes. Agreed, Alo. And I think having that countdown timer works. The only reason I do 6 minutes is because 5 minutes would end right in the middle of my startup music. So I have it go 6 minutes, and the last time through the startup music is like another 15 minutes after. 15 seconds after it gets to 0. So, The weight is meant to be 200 grams. Yeah. So, people are being led into the theater now. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of companies that are trying something new, trying something different. Think different, right? Isn't that what Apple used to say? So, I'm going to turn off the keyboard cam because we're going to hopefully enjoy this. So, we shall see. But the folks who ordered Founders Edition were invited to try out the device at this event. So, and I think I'm like order number 2,000 or something like that. So we know that they've sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,500 to 4,000 of the devices. How many of them are Founders Edition versus regular edition? Don't know. But we shall see. I'm keeping an eye on their Discord where they've been talking about. I'm not going to put it up. Just yet. About, it says, yeah, there's about 1,900 people watching. No. Looking to see if anybody's saying anything about it. Yeah. No, it is not a scam. I know some of the investors in the company. It's not a scam. So, yeah, folks are very excited. They make you wait and then a countdown happens. Oh, isn't that the worst? Oh, that's the worst. We are at 5 minutes past. A few more minutes to set up behind the screen and funnel people into the doors, says the immersed crew right here. There it is, popping up behind my head. So that's good. Look, it's a small company. It's their first time running an event like this. I get it. A lot of excitement. So, yes, it is 4K per eye. It is an 8K, effectively an 8K display. So, your cousin didn't miss anything. Time to sleep. Sorry. They did send me an email promoting what's happening. Yeah. Encouraging me to tune in as somebody who's purchased a device. Let's see. Let's see what happens. See what they say. It is, so this person says this software is the most work productive software out there. It is. Using Visual Studio with the immersed software is phenomenal. Especially because you can pop out code windows and put them on other displays. So now you can really spread out your coding surface and look around at multiple virtual displays. So I had this similar feeling. I don't pay $1,000 for anything without seeing reviews. That's why I committed to the to the subscription model. Like, that's fine. So, it's not $1,000 on top of the subscription. $1,000 comes with the subscription. These people don't read. They don't read. So, X-Reel had a narrow field of view. Yep. Yes, it did. The Mac devices are very shaky. Yep. All right. Just let the folks on the Discord channel, they're saying, oh, we should have hosted a watch party. Well, I'm hosting one here. 8 minutes now? No, you don't know that. We're 8 minutes over, yes. So. Running, hosting, and starting a conference is an announcement event like this is very stressful. Very, very stressful. You have one chance to make a first impression, and you better do it right. And as somebody who organizes plans and runs events like this, it is not for the faint of heart. The stress that they're going through right now, and I am sure there are some loud and irritated voices behind the scenes that they've missed their time. It's okay. Hang in there, friends. We've been through this type of experience before. It's okay. Yeah. Running a conference, running a press release like this is very, very stressful. And having folks that are well practiced and versed in it and know how to rehearse and show up and try again is very, very important. Hex Vezel, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. We're going to get into some coding after we see the announcement here. You wasn't expecting their reach to extend to people in Japan at this hour? Oh, yes. Mythin has a question regarding the ACD command line tool. Let's talk about it. Do I happen to know where you can find documentation? What kind of service principle the pipeline configure command creates? What do you mean by what type of service principle? It creates a service principle. It creates a that will be associated with your application. I'm not quite sure what you mean by what type. Hey, Deluxe BE. Hello. Welcome. Yes, running a conference is very stressful. Some questions while we wait. Does it need an always-on internet connection? No, it does not. Is the subscription device specific? If I upgrade to a future version 2, would I need 2 subscriptions? I haven't heard that yet. I don't know. That's a great question, Billy. The early word is that they've started planning the features for the Visor 2 as manufacturing has been completing the Visor 1. They pushed out the start time. They pushed out the start time by 2 hours. We're not going to be able to watch this. So that's all right. Well, that cancels that. So sorry. We'll go back to the welcome screen because they pushed it out by 2 hours. So, all right. Anyways, so we won't be talking about that. Bummer. Mythin says, all I see is created service principle, and I'd like to create that manually once with the correct settings. mostly to learn what settings are applied. Take a look at the if you run AZD infrasynth, it'll generate all the bicep files for you, and you can see exactly what it created. Yeah, they delayed it by 2 hours. Eat bites, which then leads to the problem. See, they just created some problems for themselves because they have folks that are scheduled for demos in the afternoon that are going to get hands-on demos. Folks that paid for the Founders Edition that are going to get hands-on demos. Somebody just said they went live. Did they? They did. Okay. Well, let's go back over there. So you can see exactly the settings that it generates and uses. When you look at the bicep files that AZD generates. So what I was saying was, if they did delay 2 hours, they have folks that are scheduled for hands-on demos throughout the afternoon, right after, including the press, right after the announcement. So there are folks that have flights scheduled this afternoon so that after their demo, they can come home. Yeah, you're going to crush some of those press folks who wouldn't be able to stick around at that point. So we're on a screen. They've got some music playing in the background. Whatever. So so it's good to see the title card. There's people posting pictures from the venue that folks are walking in. All right. Oh, they pushed the timeout further because YouTube would delete the event. Oh, I see. That makes sense, Deluxe. Okay. That makes total sense. So, I've been using their software, the Immersed software, for 5 years now, I want to say, since I got my initial Quest device. So, yeah. I don't... Technical difficulties. Did one of the speakers not show up on time? That happened for me at a conference. I'm not going to name any names, but I was at an event, and the keynote speaker was supposed to arrive an hour ahead of time before the keynote. The keynote was going to be at 8 o'clock. Right, just putting a number out there. I don't remember exactly the time, but if the keynote was going to be 8 a.m., they were supposed to arrive at 7 a.m. to go through a tech check, make sure that everything was set up right, get them all settled in. They didn't show up at 7 o'clock. 7:30, and they still weren't there. Hey, can you help us out? You know the keynote speaker. Can you reach out, give them a call, and make sure everything's okay? Reached out, called, went and got a car and brought them to the venue. And that keynote speaker walked in about 10-15 minutes before they were supposed to start, and still delivered a great keynote, but the event staff were notably stressed, and it did not set their day off in the right way. Deluxe likes their software. Not sure about how the agent fares with work laptops. So I have a Surface Laptop 4. So that's a device that's about 3 years old. I will run the Immersed software agent, right? That's the little bit of software that runs on your device. I don't have it running right now. Standby. Right? There's the agent. But it just sits out here and manages and creates other displays and relays information. Now, uh-oh. There it goes. Here it comes. There you go. So this just sits here and relays information to the device. It'll do this wirelessly over Wi-Fi, or you can plug in a cable and you'll get very, very high-speed connection back and forth to that. So I've done it with that Surface laptop, both wirelessly and plugged in. The problem I have with plugging in my headset is it doesn't charge as fast coming off the USB-C as it does if I have the headset plugged into a power right into an outlet. So you might need to whitelist this with IT, right? Because you're broadcasting your screen, so you might run into issues with because you're replicating your screen to another device. You might have security constraints that prevent screen mirroring. I know on some Microsoft devices. There you go, 10-minute countdown. Oh my goodness. What were we saying about stream countdowns at the beginning? So, I'll turn up the audio from that and turn off our music when we're ready to go. I could do that now, I guess, right? And turn up there. Is that all right? Can you hear that? So I could see folks saying you're not allowed to mirror displays over Wi-Fi for security reasons. Cable connected, I think you'll be in better shape security-wise. You can't get them to whitelist Stream Deck? Oh my goodness. So the Visual Studio macros that I run off of macros, commands, I write my own macros on the Digma Defy keyboard. Terrific. Terrific. So all right. Here we go. 8 minutes. So, you hate Terraform? Sorry. Right, I feel like Terraform and Bicep are the two ways that you're going to scaffold your applications in the cloud. Yeah. What can I tell you? I've heard that from many folks. So, Palumi, oh, I'm so sorry. You want to call it open tofu? Yeah. All the YAML is just awful. Just awful. Just click around in the console like some sort of an animal. Rawr! Yes. I've been keeping an eye. I have a little display down here called the Cubelet that shows me a couple things here, including the outside temperature, the number of viewers currently on Twitch, and also the current Microsoft stock price. That there was a rate cut yesterday announced by the Federal Reserve here in the States, and my Microsoft stock is doing quite nicely today. Thank you. Hopefully YouTube allows the stream music. Whatever. The AWS CDK was phenomenal. There's something to be said about their CDK, Bicep, do a nice job of... I'm going to turn off... There's somebody talking like gibberish. Definitely something to be said about the quality of the cloud vendors making their own APIs to connect and use and deploy to their stuff. And I get it that folks want to have an open standard for some of those things. Bicep is supposed to be a little bit more of a standard. I get it. I do. Had this YAML conversation this week. Can't find anyone that likes it. Right. Like, there's all kinds of reasons that we don't like YAML. So stop making things that use YAML. We need to go back to our goof project, TAML, where everything is annotated with tabs. There's just tabs. Nothing but tabs. No commas, no spaces, tabs and text. Carriage returns. That's it. You don't need YAML, you just need tabs. Is there space between those things? That's because there's space on the same line between two things. That's because it is a key value relationship. Things are indented another layer and there's only one entry. That's because it's a collection. Done. That's it. That's all you need. Like, what more is there? So, after reading Reddit comments, somebody said they had a Reddit link about this. Reddit, Visor, immersed. Right? Are the stems metal? Like, these are months and months ago. So, so here's the immersed Reddit. So there is a dial home. It has to dial home at least once a month to verify the subscription is still valid. So, yeah, membership. So, I think this is going to be a winner. I really do. Thinking of purchasing the $100 per year subscription for Copilot. Do I think it's worth getting? Yes. GitHub Copilot? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, R Immersed is the official one. Yeah. Sure, go ahead, join that. So, we will see what they say here in a little bit about this. So, yeah, the Copilot subscription, I think, is very much worth it. It does so much to help you be productive. Also, I need to stop a little bit early today. I have some phone calls about .NET Conf. We're talking about the keynote today for .NET Conf. So, I'm the executive producer for .NET Conf, so I need to be in those meetings, planning and talking about what we're going to be doing as part of that virtual event coming up in November. Windows Copilot, I agree, feels weak. However, I think it's included in M365. GitHub Copilot is absolutely worth it. So, I'm not actively using Copilot every day for everyday things yet. It's not quite there for me. I'll reach out and use it to summarize some stuff. I'll reach out and use Copilot to research and generate some text for me. Definitely enjoy using that. It's not a thing that I turn to for Copilot's not a thing that I turn to help me with every task. There's specific things where I kind of get stuck, and to use Copilot as that jump off point to inspire me, to kind of give me a little bit of information and get me past the blank sheet of paper problem, right? You know the blank sheet of paper problem, right? When it's intimidating to look at a blank sheet of paper and think, all right, how do I get started writing this? I want to design, I want to do a thing. How do I get started? And to ask Copilot to generate that first bit of text, that first couple bits of code, is handy. Similarly, we did this inside of TagZap a couple times. And hey, I want to create a screen that has a little bit of formatting like this, asking GitHub Copilot, hey, can you create a screen that has a warning message about this? And it generated a nicely formatted block of HTML, and I dictated that command to GitHub Copilot. Very handy, very very simple bit of code that it generated, and then I was able to go in and customize it to suit my needs. It had picked up and used some of the classes that I had previously defined because it sees that context. So it gave me a good jump-off point. Weirdbeard Dev says, I find GitHub Copilot to be a great research assistant. Rather than combing the web for several minutes, I can ask Copilot, gives an answer in a few seconds. Yep. Gets past the stuck parts. A little bit of rubber ducking. There you go. Generating a description for a talk session as a starting point. Totally agreed. CodeRush is doing some Copilot-driven development. Yeah. Using it to analyze logs. I think that's a great idea, too. Here we go, getting started. 10 seconds and Chapel Roan playing in the background. That's so nice. Thanks. You're going to get me banned here, you punk. The video's echoing. They don't have a direct video feed. What is internet? Do you remember this? Massive computer network. The one that's becoming really big now. Really big. Gosh. Are people going to use internet? No, a lot of people use it and communicate with, I guess they can communicate with NBC writers and producers. Allison, can you explain what internet is? Can you hear this? Can you hear what they're talking about? You don't need a phone line to operate internet? No.
So what was your vision?
Well, a computer on every desk and in every home.
Right. I don't have one on my home or in my desk.
We're working on that.
Vice versa. What about this internet?
You can't hear it.
Do you know anything about that?
Sure.
What the hell is that exactly?
Well, it's become a place where people are publishing information.
Right.
So everybody can have their own homepage.
Turning it up.
Companies are there. The latest information. It's wild what's going on. You can send electronic mail to people. It is the big new thing.
Yeah, but it's easy to criticize something you don't fully understand, which
How
is
about
my
that?
position here.
Go ahead.
But I can remember a couple of months ago, there was like a big breakthrough announcement that on the internet or on some computer deal, they were going to broadcast a baseball game. You could listen to a baseball game on your computer.
Listen to a baseball
and
game?
I just thought to myself,
or a football game?
Does radio ring a bell?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just,
That's right.
There's a difference.
But
there's a difference.
It's not a huge difference.
What is the difference?
But you can listen to the baseball game whenever you want.
All right.
Too.
Oh, I see. So it's stored in one of your memory deals.
Exactly.
And then you can,
That's the RAM thing you talked about earlier.
Yeah. Do tape recorders ring a bell?
that's right.
Steve, let me ask you about the iPhone and the Zune, if I may. The Zune was getting some traction, and Steve Jobs goes to Macworld and he pulls out this iPhone. What was your first reaction when you saw that?
$500 fully subsidized with a plan? I said, that is the most expensive phone in the world, and it doesn't appeal to business customers because it doesn't have a keyboard, which makes it not a very good email machine.
How do you compete
It is a good email
with
machine,
that,
isn't it?
with the Zune?
Right now, well, let's take phones first. Right
Okay.
now, we're selling millions and millions and millions of phones a year. Apple is selling 0 phones a year. In 6 months, they'll have the most expensive phone by far ever in the marketplace.
It is.
And let's see.
It's a very expensive phone.
Let's see how the competition goes.
See, Tesla's an electric vehicle maker. And I think this face is all sizzle without any stage. I will take it and use the hype factor for you to turn a quick profit. But after it comes public, listen, Tesla sells. You don't want to own the stock. You don't want to lease it.
I think you're right, Deluxe.
You shouldn't even rent the darn thing. We just want you to take it for a test drive.
He's been back and forth to Asia this week and returned yesterday, the day before. Oh my gosh, we're told that takes
business for decades. Who say about you that you don't know what you don't know.
Well, I suppose that's true of anyone. How can anyone know what they don't know?
That's right.
But when critics say you can't do this,
I had a manager getting mad at one of my developer colleagues because they said, I don't know what I don't know. They got really mad.
Neil Armstrong and Gene Cernan have both
It is a long
testified
flight.
against commercial spaceflight in the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I never met Ballmer and Gates.
I was very sad
No.
to see that. Because
I haven't met Satya yet either. It's hard to hear me.
Yeah, but those guys are yours, man, so it's really tough.
Well,
I wish they would come and visit.
I haven't adjusted the level of that. The mixer is still at the same level.
And I think that would change.
And I can see my level.
They
It's just
inspired
fine.
you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
But I'm trying to pull them back so
And
their
to see them
audio
casting
is underneath
stones in
me.
your direction.
It's difficult.
Did you expect them to cheer you on?
That's very quiet. They've gone very quiet.
So they're hoping they would.
Yeah, the video's
What are you
loud.
trying to prove to them?
What I'm trying to do is to make a significant difference in spaceflight and help make spaceflight accessible to almost anyone. And I would hope for as much support in that direction as we can receive.
Joe, Nate, and I were trying to raise money. For everyone trying to raise money, I want you to know that Airbnb was trying to raise $150,000 at a $1.5 million, I think, post-money valuation.
I'll give you that right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
right.
And here's one of
Airbnb?
many rejection letters. Hi, Brian. Apologies for the delayed response. We've had a chance to discuss internally, and unfortunately don't
microphone you
think
got
that
there,
it's
fella.
right for fill-in-the-blank investment firm from an investment perspective. The potential market opportunity did not seem large enough for a required model. Now, I want you to just put in this perspective. Airbnb handles nearly as much money as the entire GDP of the country of Croatia today. One in about every $1,500 spent in the world, about $1 spent on Airbnb. That's a pretty large market. And our business is pretty much the same idea as the idea that we proposed that person who said our market opportunity wasn't large enough.
Yeah. Here it comes.
This is what you're waiting for. I think we're ready to rock.
You're out of your league, boy.
And you're out of Tic Tacs. I'm in a whole nother league.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was funny. Give it up for our content team. That video is hilarious. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for coming out, man. It blows my mind that people have flown from countries all around the world just to be here to support our team. So thank you guys so much. We're just a small little rinky-dink startup, and we're having to figure out how to face against the tech giants. And we're like, man, this is rough. I don't know how the Lord provided for 7.5 years. Somehow we're still alive. So praise the Lord.
Yeah, see the audio? Their engineers are
Thank you guys
fighting.
for being here. Yeah. Thank you for
I'm trying to
just
load
bearing
balance
with us
here
as
as
we're
well.
out here, and our team is trying to figure out how to get logistics and
So-
everything. Like, this is our first time, right? Like, someone on Discord said we should have just done beers in your garage and then done demos that way. But for us, we wanted to do something a little bit more special. This is kind of our first immersed IRL, and we hope to do more future years of this. But yeah, just thanks so much. Thanks to the Founders Edition people, for the people who are supporting us just as a business. Thanks so much for people who pre-ordered almost a year ago. I know it's been
Much
a
better on their
very
end, yes.
difficult journey for us. It's been, we were first told by our tech partners that hardware will take at least 36 months. I was like, we don't have 36 months. I don't know if we'll be alive. So we got to figure out a way to make this 12 months. And we'll probably push in 14-ish or something, maybe 16. I don't know. We'll see what ramp up looks like. But we're just thankful that we're here. So thank you guys for all the support. So just a round of applause for you guys. Yeah.
How's the audio sound here? Good?
Yeah, so to sort of give context or kind of an overview to
Oh,
those of you in
there
the
it
crowd
is.
who
Come on.
don't know what I'm talking about, who just sort of saw this online and decided to stop in, who might be here local in
Cool.
Austin.
Thank you, chat.
I think
Appreciate
a
it.
good frame of reference or frame of mind
No. Why did it mute?
interacted with technology 4 or 5 decades, right? Maybe think about the personal computer, right? My first interaction with the computer was Windows 95. Maybe I'm too young, whatever. There's some people in this room who are younger than me who your first interaction was XP, so I'm older than you.
Oh my gosh.
But what we realized is the personal computer,
Sorry,
obviously,
I'm
like Steve Jobs says, a bicycle of the mind. It was something that
a little bit
really
wiser than that.
changed the face of the planet forever. And so that generation of computing was the precursor to the next generation computing after that, which was the laptop, right? And then after that, mobile devices, smartphones, tablets, etc. And so the people behind these products became tech giants. They figured out ways to create moats, to continue working on the next generation and the next generation. And now they're continually spending dozens of billions of dollars to figure out how to really own that next generation of computing. I'm going to be very explicit when I say it. Meta, Apple, Google, Microsoft, they're pouring dozens of billions into the next generation.
They certainly are.
So the question is, what is that, right? Some people might think that it's ChatGPT, Gemini, some sort of AI on your phone. I personally struggle to believe that for the next 10 or 20 years, the main way in which we're going to interact with AI is going to be a little square box thing in my hand.
No.
And so, again, the question begs to ask,
oh, look at how he pivoted.
And, you know,
Whoa.
obviously I'm biased. I think it's going to be AR, VR, but a lot of people are like, oh, boo, forget AR, VR. This thing is like ugly. It's like a cardboard thing, or even the nicer ones. Oh, it's big and bulbous and it's heavy. And even people who like those, oh, they make fun of Mark Zuckerberg. And they just, when I think about the future, I had to throw a space in there. I think about how do I leverage technology
that is what
to take people to
I want
the
to
next
see the
level
experience
of
get to.
Intellect, the next level of knowledge.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be this crazy, far-fetched, futuristic, but it's step by step, increasing in your level of mastery and understanding. And so we see immersive technology, spatial computing as something like that, that then eventually becomes.
But did you hear how he pivoted?
And so we've tried to figure out ways
AI in a
to
different
get people
form
to
factor.
spend
He just
more
made
and more time
a
in
hint
this
that he's
sort
going to
of
pitch
next generation
AI
of
on the
computing, we
Visor.
believe, AR, VR. So for the past 7 years, and I'll kind of show you the chart that actually matters, the past 4 years since we existed on the Meta Quest store, year after year after year, we've figured out ways to get people to spend 20, 30, 40, 50, even 60 hours a week, every week, yes, with a 10-pound brick thing on their head. Sorry, 2-pound. And fast forward to today, by God's grace, you know, we've onboarded about 1.2 million users, which has been awesome because 7 years ago, I never would have thought we'd even get anywhere
I'll
near
have
close
my
to that.
stuff with me next week.
It kind of
Space
translates
Shot.
to about 1,600
If you're interested, I can show you what it looks like.
Spent in VR just in our app alone. As far as we know,
I'll have my
another
entire
app that
rig
has
with
that
me.
much user usage.
My
when you add
laptop's
kind of
the
total amount of usage per user.
Keyboard, the Defy keyboard,
But when we think
the
about
Meta Quest
okay,
headset.
well, people are spending this much time in the headset, and we're sort of subject to, okay, well, what's Meta's next move? What is Google or Apple's next move? We have to think about, okay, well, how do we get past 1 million users? How do we get to 10 million? How do we get to 100 million? But before I get into that, to give you a little more context, especially for those of you at home who are watching and have no idea who I am, my background on me, before I started Immerse, my last job, I was working at a couple different tech giants as well, just sort of working on time waster apps, more growth hacky type stuff. But it got kind of boring. I didn't really want to work on time waster apps with my life. And so I focused on a PhD in computer vision and machine learning from Georgia Tech. So self-driving cars, autonomous drones, things like that. But after about 3.5 years there, I realized that I'm not an academic and I don't like writing research papers. And so I quit that and focused on building Immersed, mainly because, and this is about 7 years ago, we went through Techstars in Chicago and mainly decided to focus on building Immersed because I realized that every software development team that I had been on or had led, more and more people started working from home. And I knew that, okay, well, if this continues to become an ever increasingly bigger problem, and then lo and behold, COVID, it's going to be an extremely annoying problem, a very painful problem, and I want to get ahead of that. And so, you know, my life was this pre-COVID, right? Having to figure out how do you get a person into a Skype call to share a screen. And when COVID hit, the product that we had built started blowing up on the Oculus store, right?
Yeah.
The Immersed app is something that connects your headset to your laptop. It spawns 5 virtual screens. And so now you can have your headset and your laptop and your entire workstation no matter where you go. You can take 5 screens with you to your couch or your porch or to the airport or hotel room or whatever, and you have your entire workstation with you.
I did
all
this
times.
in Stockholm when I
You don't
flew
have to do
there.
that alone. Now we have,
and it was
at this
phenomenal.
point, hundreds of thousands of people who are spending time in virtual cafes and collaboration rooms. You don't have to necessarily even collaborate with people. You can just sort of meet people, a person from Australia or France or whatever.
Collaborating
You're getting
in
your work
immerse.
done.
That's
they're getting
something
their
that
work
you can
done.
absolutely
And
do,
if you're
but I
isolated
haven't
at home,
experienced
headset,
that yet.
and now you're in that. It's really cool to kind of see several of you who met each other for the first time in those cafes here in the audience. And so also people with hybrid remote teams, they put on the headset and they multi-screen share. Coders can code together, designers can whiteboard together. But as we've sort of worked on sort of these seemingly early tech adopter type technologies,
If there's more
take a step
folks
back and think
in the
about
community
how
that
we accomplished
have
and reflected on the
VR
past 7
headsets and
years,
would be
it's been really cool to
interested
see that
in
back in
me opening a
2017, we were the
room
first
and
company to
hosting
create
and
wireless
talking and
screens in VR
presenting
headsets.
in
And I
that
remember back
space,
then it was
I
like a Google
would
Cardboard. Google Cloud
totally
was
be
working on
interested
weird
in
crap.
doing
What are
that,
you doing?
but I don't think
But
the
it was
audience
really cool
is
to kind of
there
see
yet.
fast
I don't
forward
think
to
we
today,
have a
now
big
you see
enough
even Apple
community for that
sort of
yet.
showing how you can connect your Apple Vision
Community
Pro
that
to a
has the
MacBook
device
and spawn a virtual screen.
and can
we were the first to
get
innovate with
connected
Mac
that
way
way.
back when they gave us approval to even virtualize Mac screens. We were the first to bring keyboards in VR. That was in collaboration with Meta. So thank you to Meta. And then phones in VR, virtual cafes, multiple agents. So it's been really cool to see how Immersed worked alongside Meta and
So
others. And Meta, they do really well in gaming.
do have the headset
they
on,
did some
you can
dabbling
create
in
a
work
pass-through
productivity,
window. You can
but
cut a
this has
hole
gone to show us that
so that you can look
you
down
can't
and
just
see
rely
your
only on tech
keyboard
giants to build
through
technology.
the
You need to have
through
some
the,
people who focus really
the visor.
focus on niche.
Second
sort
Life
of,
becomes Third Life.
Problems that they're obsessed over, like
Maybe.
Immersed. Like, this is a problem that I've had for 7+ years,
Like,
and then
that
you
might be a
people on
joke,
team,
but
and you have
maybe.
like-minded individuals. And so, as we've been working with Meta and others, we've realized, okay, they are also building headsets for gaming and training and entertainment and maybe tertiarily work. And so, if we want to get to a point of being able to get to 10 million users, 100 million users, etc., we have to figure out a way to kind of own our own destiny and not just wait for someone else to figure it out for us. And so we had a couple of
Second
different
Life
paths that
did arrive too
we could have
early.
chosen, probably 3 in particular. One being, let's just wait about 10 years, sit around, and maybe someday Apple will come out with a pair of glasses and that we can be
and we were talking about the Snap Spectacles earlier.
I just don't want to be in year 17 of
there.
Immersed before
They're
my friends
really
and
not
family
there.
start using my app. And then kind of the second option would have been, okay, well, let's take a similar path to the rest of the tech giants. Let's figure out ways to just shove all the technology into a headset and try to miniaturize it as much as possible. And it sounds really cool, but then once you actually execute on it, it becomes this sort of big, bulky thing that just people don't really want to buy.
No.
And
it's a lot.
We don't have to do that because
Right,
other
and that's
people are doing
the
that. So
Meta
we won't do
Quest
that.
Pro on the
So
right.
instead, what can Immersed do that other people can't do or
Hey,
won't
Clarkio, hello.
What can Immersed do that others are not incentivized to do? And again, what we've shown is brick by brick, we can get people to put on a headset and work in VR.
No,
So
big
we
thing like that.
realized
That's
as
what
we
makes the visor so
gathered
attractive.
sort of
Is
all
it's
this user data,
it's got the
talked to
form factor
all
of a
these
pair of
users,
sunglasses,
and figured out, okay, there's certain
and
things
he's
that
got
they're
it
using
on the
these
desk there
headsets
in front of him,
that,
the podium.
and other things that they're not using on these headsets that the tech
200
giants would
grams is what they
prioritize.
say it weighs.
An example of that would
That's
be, for example,
nothing.
our users oftentimes just mute the audio on their headset because they have their AirPods in.
The
connected
Quest
to their
3,
MacBook, and
one of the chatters here on
really
YouTube
need
says
the
is
onboard microphone and
530
audio.
grams.
So,
I don't know
there's
if it's
multiple ways we
530.
can
I
optimize
think it's a little bit heavier
focus on
than
sort
that.
of a work-focused headset. But rather than me
Yes.
just sort of
Yes.
tell you,
If I
maybe I'll
can't do
just show
Excel in on your device, the workplace will never buy it. Excel quite literally is the boundary. All right, so here's their promo video. Yeah. Okay, we've seen the picture. Looks like display sensors underneath. Something up top. Venting, I guess? The shield is magnetic and removable. We've seen before. Okay. And it looks like it's a cord to go around the head. Okay. That just looks so much more appealing. And then sunglass arms. Just glasses arms. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It does look good. Your phone weighs more. Yeah.
So this is something that we've been working on for
there it is.
About a year and a half now. It's a product that we've iterated on. It's something
And there's
that
a cable
has,
that comes out the back.
kind of changed and been crafted and sort of molded into something that our team, really, it became our dream device. It's something that, oh, sorry, this is kind of a really boring slide, my bad. It's something that we realized it's a headset that can look more similar to a pair of sunglasses, something that's not like a foreign object. Like when you think of VR,
Yeah, all data begins in one Excel spreadsheet and ends in another.
You might think, oh, that's something
Like,
that I've heard of, or it's like a gaming thing.
quite
It's kind of a
literally,
foreign thing,
Excel
or maybe
is
I got
the gate
a Quest 2 for Christmas
for a
and then
business to
it's sitting
get
on my
through.
shelf and I haven't really used it since. But we realized that if we can sort of start with what type of technology would people adopt first,
Browser is certainly
and
up
what
there.
sort of form factor
Browser's
does that
probably
look like, what's
1A.
technologically possible,
But
and
Excel,
then work
can I
our
get
way
Excel
back
running on it?
towards
If you can get a
the
browser,
actual
now you can
tech,
get Excel.
as opposed
So
to, hey, let's shove all this tech in there and then you have this big bulbous thing and try to like.
it is a last mile
use it.
solution. Yep.
We realized we can actually
Folks
come up
using
with something that's
spreadsheets for
very, very
analysis,
thin and
pseudo database.
something
yes.
that again looks like a pair of sunglasses, something that could
There it
be
goes.
4K per eye, something that could be extremely lightweight, which I'll get into in a second. So yeah, I mean, this is the Visor. It's something that I wish someone else would build. I tried to not build it ourselves. What I mean by that is, about a year and a half ago, I approached, I won't name names,
Robert
I approached
Table.
multiple tech giants.
Absolutely.
Probably about
Hey,
5
try
or 6 of
something,
them.
Dev. Pseudo
And
database.
I had asked
yeah.
them,
And in some places,
what
full
would it
database.
take for
You're
you
not
to
wrong.
build
You're
a
not wrong.
work-focused headset? We have all this user data. We have all this user usage. All this data shows that someone should build this thing. I want to avoid it because it's expensive. We're a broke startup. We don't have the money for that. And all
but
of
they
them
got the
responded saying, no, this
investments.
makes sense. Someone should do this. I was like, all right,
They
cool. Are we going
got
to do
the
this? And they're like,
investments.
no. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess we got to figure out a way to do this. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of sit around and be sort of a yet another app waiting for some sort of catalytic explosive event. And, kind of maybe 5 or 6 months of digging into, okay, what will it really take to really build this thing? It turns out that all the core components necessary to pull this off, it already existed before we actually started working on this. Like, for example, the 4K micro OLED per eye. So we didn't invent that. BOE and some of these other partners that we're working with, it's something that for them, they are already working with other tech giants to pull off. When it comes to the chipset, Qualcomm, they've been working on mobile chips for decades. So we don't have to worry about processing power. And they're working on XR focused chipsets. So when it comes to having cameras on the device, right, being able to ultimately track the camera in 3D space.
I actually have. So I've purchased one.
Through so that when you have the headset on, you can
there's
see the
two
outside
different,
world. Those
four
are all
different
things
price points
that
actually.
Qualcomm and others have
You
been
can pay
focusing
for the
on
whole
a
device
while.
up front.
And so for us,
you can pay a
we just
smaller
need to
fee
think
with a
about
subscription
our,
over
core
1 or
competence.
2
What do we
years
bring
if
to the
you'd
table,
like.
which is we bring a work
and I have
perspective
a referral
to,
link that you can
the
try
AR/VR
there
space.
that
So,
will let them know you
kind of
heard
just
about
going
it from
through,
me. Give me a
go
little
back
bit
to the
of a
slides.
discount if you buy one. Gives you a little bit of a discount.
Kind of going
if you buy one.
back to sort of what type of headset would be necessary to, first off,
Does it work
accomplish what you
independently of
need
the subscription?
for, your
Once the subscription
users, but
has
also
expired,
what would be
it
adoptable
does.
for
If
non-users?
you buy it
Meaning,
with
if I'm trying to get a person to
subscription,
buy one of these
you're
things,
required to pay
it
the
better
rest
not
of the
weigh 2
subscription
pounds.
to
It
use
better
the
not
device.
look like an alien thing on my head.
Beyond the
and it better not
expiration
be
of the
crazy
subscription.
expensive.
So
I know we're kind of having
the
trouble with
original
slides, but we'll
prices
see what
were
I'm looking at here.
like $1,200 to
I'll kind of just show you here with my hand,
$1,800,
so
and they
maybe
weren't
you guys
selling.
can, bring the camera in here.
So they
So
reduced the
the
price and
headset
put the
itself obviously
subscription
has
in
sort of
so that
this,
you can
front
effectively
shield
pay
that
it
comes
over
off.
time.
The purpose
Which
of that really is
is
more of a vanity
what we
thing.
did
It's
with phones,
whether people
right?
like it or
Subsidized
not,
phones.
they don't want to be caught dead wearing kind of a big brick thing on their head that looks like an alien.
No, we don't.
They want to maybe they'd be okay with something that looks more like a pair of sunglasses. So, and it turns out that if you actually put
There you go. Robert
clear
Tables
plastic
chimes in the
sort
same
of
way.
shield in front of the cameras,
Link breaks after
it
the
actually
first.
doesn't
Yeah, I
deter
know.
its
I don't know
ability
why
to
it
track,
breaks after it.
or see the real world, especially if you use things like auto exposure, etc. On top of that, on the front, we actually have a magnesium alloy.
Hey, VR Mechatronics.
What that
Thanks
does
so
is
much
it
for
helps
the follow.
dissipate heat. So a lot of
So
people have
they're
questions.
dissipating
You
heat through
hear
the
that?
front.
There's no audio on that, is there? The fan, there's kind of a dual fan system in here. Again, we have 4K micro OLED displays. It's able to dissipate
4K
heat
micro
even in
OLED.
such a small form factor because we also allow the magnesium alloy body to dissipate heat from multiple angles. So you have the vents that you have inlets here, you have outlets here, you have the magnesium alloy front plate.
So
that
it's
dissipates heat.
venting
So all
air
these things
over your
collectively- there we go,
eyes.
perfect. All these things collectively really allow you to achieve thermals that other headsets really struggle to achieve. And again, we're not pushing insane pixels. You're not running a 120 frames per second first-person shooter on our headset.
No,
because that's just not our use case.
We're really this is not a gaming device. This is intended to be a business device.
And the reason why we're taking that approach is, I would say, number one, I would say there's more money there to start with, right? If you pivot away from sort of niche VR gaming hobbyist market, more towards the market of everyone who uses a laptop for work. I mean, I would argue that's a much, much larger market, number one. Number two,
they're
if
more
it's a
likely
use
to
case
invest.
that people are spending 30, 40, 50 hours a week every week
Minesweeper
doing,
could be huge, quite literally huge in VR space.
That many hours a week. But when it comes to work, way more people, I believe, are doing that 30, 40, 50 hours a week every week. And so if this becomes their go-to device because they're just using it 40 hours a week, well, I believe we can branch into other areas as well, not just work. But work will be the place that we start. So when it comes to the way that we've designed the headset, it has all of these things in mind.
This is only device version
I'm not
1.
thinking about what
and they're already talking about
technology
what
is possible
version
first.
2
Think
is
about
going
what
to
does the
be.
customer need first. And then you work your
Hey,
way
VR
back towards
Mechatronics, you looked
the
at the
tech.
Pico 4 Ultra
So, for
Enterprise.
example,
It doesn't
this
have
has
eye tracking or
32
automatic pupillary
megapixels per camera
adjustment,
here on the front.
unfortunately. Yeah. So
You'll see
this
right
one
here.
has a fixed
By the way, this is just
IPD
kind of
distance.
an earlier pre-production unit, so these will actually be black lenses. But you'll see here on the next slide that what that does is it provides the ability for a person to be able to, you've probably seen this video before, put on the actual pair of, or the visor, and actually be able to see the real world outside of that. Also, we, instead of just having it be something that's big and bulky with a battery on your face, we decided to take the battery off the device and actually have it powered through a wire that goes down to the battery pack. That also allows us to take off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and allows us to really save a lot of space on the actual board itself.
Makes sense.
So that allows us to have a PCB or a printed circuit board that's kind of like really kind of the space between your eyeballs. It's very, very small. It allows us to really condense it, make it very, very tight.
Putting some of that
Next thing
computing
is,
power
why did we
in your
decide to
pocket,
use
I'm okay with that.
stems
That
to
makes
start
sense.
with versus a head strap like other headsets?
Sure.
Well, again, if the goal here is adoption, is for us to go from 1 million users to 10 million users to 100 million users, well, adoption matters. How do you make AR, VR not a foreign concept to people, but again, something that they're familiar with?
Yeah. The business market, HoloLens tried to pivot into just business market,
where
but
stems are actually very uncomfortable.
there was nowhere for anybody to
So how do you
try it
sort of
out or
get
go
the
and
best of both
invest and
worlds?
say, yes, I want to
Well,
do
what we
that.
do is we actually use the stems as, for lack of better
I
terms,
think they've got
a bit of a gateway drug. It's something
a
to
good
just get
story
you
that goes from
interested in.
good, better, best
And as soon
experience.
as you try it on,
and if this
you
is
put
the
it on
best
for
experience,
30, 60 minutes, like, oh, wow, that was really cool. I have multiple screens. I can see it. Like, text clarity is amazing. But I don't want to wear this. It's kind of like hurting the sides of my head, but I really want to use this thing. Well, cool. Now you can unclip the thing and use the actual head strap that we put in the box. And so, to be real, the intention is, I don't intend any of you to use stems the entire time. I don't even know if stems
if you
will come
stood in an
Visor
office
2.
waving your arms around
Stems
and your
are
boss
just
asking
there
what
to
you're
get
doing, and
people
you're replying,
interested
oh,
to
just
start
moving
with.
project plans.
You try it, you love the experience, and then from there, you unplug it, you put on the head strap. There are 4 major
Solar power panel
breakthroughs
on
that
a
have
hat.
made, any of this, I think, worth even pursuing. Right? Because again, if Meta and
These
Apple
devices
and Google and
also
Microsoft
don't
and all of
work
them are
very
already,
well out in
working on their
sunlight.
own headsets, well, we don't have to
Right?
work
None
on
of
a
these
headset
VR
in and of
headset
itself.
devices work very
But if
well
we can
in
work on something
sunlight.
that has key differentiators that make it actually worth
Like
it,
pointing a camera
well, then I
into
think that it's
sunlight is a
actually
bad idea.
not only
Real bad
strategic
idea.
as a startup, but it's just better for our user base. I think it's better for our world. And so, 4 major breakthroughs I want to go through. Number 1, thickness. So, when it comes to weight, size, volumetrics, aesthetics, thickness of the device matters. What I mean by thickness,
Yeah,
I'm talking about from your eyeball all the way out to the front of the device. When you look at a lot of the old school headsets, you'll see kind of like a big box on a person's face.
Look at it.
It just looks weird.
Right?
And
Look
so,
at how thick that is. Right?
when you actually
Your
compare
eyes are
this to,
here.
for example,
right?
Meta Quest 2. Again,
it's
great
a good
headset.
No,
I think
hey,
they sold
look.
maybe something like 20 million plus units. I remember Steph Curry
It's a
wearing
good
one of these.
3-4 inches,
Steph
right?
Curry's wearing
That's
it. I mean,
10 centimeters
somehow Meta got the
from
word
your
out,
eye
and
to
so many
the
people
other
got
side
to try
of it.
VR for the first time during COVID, and it was great. And they sold, I'm sure, billions of dollars worth of games on that thing.
Don't drive with no.
The hard
no,
part
no,
is
no, no, no.
Immerse trying to get people to use
Hey,
Meta Quest
Raventhorn.
2 for work.
No, that's not the
It was
right
great
answer.
when it
This
first
is the
came out, but very
Visor
quickly became something
unveiling.
that
You see
collected
the
dust
title
on
there in the
shelves for
bottom.
work.
This is a live
And
broadcast
so,
talking about
like,
a new
all right, well, when it comes to
VR
Visor, it needs to be something that
AR
people feel
device
ashamed
called
of
the
wearing, something that's
Visor.
not heavy. And so when you look at the difference between the Meta Quest 2 and Visor, Meta
The
Quest 2 is
Visor
literally
looks like a
2x
pair of
the
sunglasses,
thickness, right?
but
So
it
Visor
does
is
full
41 millimeters
virtual
from your
reality,
eyeball to
augmented
the
reality,
front.
mixed reality.
The Quest 2 is literally twice that. When it comes to Quest 3,
There's the 3. That's the
Quest
one I
3
just
is
showed.
55% thicker than Visor, from, again, your eyeball to the front of the device. Same with the Apple Vision Pro, 55% thicker. Great devices.
The Apple
Meta Quest
Vision
3
Pro always to
sold
me
millions
looked
of
like a
devices.
diving mask, a scuba mask that I would
almost
wear.
nearly billions of dollars, I'm
Especially
sure.
because you could see my
Apple
eyes
Vision
through
Pro,
it. Like,
I mean, maybe sold about 500,000 units, I'm guessing, and billions of dollars worth of sales.
so check out
it's
the
an
link,
amazing
Robert
device. I love
Tables.
it for
There's
Disney Plus,
different
but I'm
shield
not gonna
colors
use it
you
for
can
work.
get there, including
And
gold.
I'm not going to wear that in public.
So
Number 2, weight. This
not
one I actually want to
quite.
demonstrate for you guys.
Close.
Yeah, David, maybe come check this out. If you're ready. Cool.
Oh, he's got another table.
Oh, I probably need a device to show you guys.
Yeah. Bring over the device.
Cool. So yeah, this is obviously the Visor. What I want to kind of demonstrate here is why I'm so obsessive on weight. I bet so many of you are like, how much does this Visor weigh? Oh man, we've been holding a secret for over a year.
VR Mechatronics had a Quest 3 with IPD at 72 millimeters, but turned out that the face frame is at max 64 without adjustment. Oh!
All right. I guess I'll just tell you verbally until you guys can see it. Cool. So there's no way to make you guys see this? All right. And even the live stream. Okay, I'm just going to be very verbal, I guess, on the live stream. You just listen to my voice, I guess. You said what? Oh, you can. Oh, that's great. Okay, awesome. Okay, well, awesome. Sorry, my bad. Cool. Apple Vision Pro. I'm going to put this on the scale. Let me tear it. 0 grams. Cool. Grams. The Apple Vision Pro is, and by the way, I took off the strap because you could use the solo knit band. You could use the dual loop band. On MetaQuest, you can use a Bobo strap. Like, everyone has a different strap they want to use, so let's just use the core unit itself.
What's that, 572?
572.5 grams, call it.
Okay.
Let's try the
That's still not very heavy, right?
MetaQuest 3. Again, no Bobo strap or whatever. 463
lighter.
grams.
And I definitely
Let me just kind of take this one step further.
feel that,
Take
but
out
when
my
it's on your
iPhone,
head for a while, you
all right?
feel it.
The iPhone. This is my iPhone 15 Pro Max. 290 grams. Right?
Yep, 290. Okay.
And now when we're talking about the Visor, let me take off the vanity shield so I can make this a little more
You spend most of your time with MetaQuest in AR mode.
The
I agree.
Visor. All right,
I was in Las Vegas last week and I was using it
Max,
in AR mode
Visor.
in the hotel room.
Any guesses? No guesses.
He's going to be under 100, isn't
100
he?
grams, that's not real. All right. 186.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, my iPhone is 290 grams. I do have, to be fair, I do have an OtterBox on it. My iPhone is 290 grams. The Visor itself is 186 grams. My main question is, why is the iPhone so heavy? And so when I think about
but does it play
why
Half-Life
this
3?
matters,
No.
I mean, this is a standalone device, meaning
Yes.
you don't actually need to
The battery
plug
is
this into
the
a
big
gaming
deal there.
desktop
And they
PC
put the
with a custom
battery,
graphics
right,
card
they're
and
kind of
have
cheating there because the
external
battery and some of the other
trackers to
things he
track the
said
headset in 3D space.
are on
It's not
the
a
other end of
stationary
that
device. You just
wire.
take this
So
thing with
it's
its
not
wire,
all of the same
goes to a
stuff.
battery pack, or plug it directly into your laptop. You take your laptop, and this thing is an all-in-one track device. Oh, and by the way, it's higher resolution than the Apple Vision Pro. So
There it is. There it was.
Thank you.
Show us now, Renji. Show us.
And look, I don't want to claim all the credit for this, right? Like we do have
It
an
is,
awesome team. I think
but
our design
kind of
is
cheating
awesome.
in that
we learned
you
a
don't
ton
have all
by
the same
working
stuff
with
in
Meta on
the
their Quest Store. We
package.
learned a
That's
ton,
all.
even just on the Apple, our apps on the Apple Vision Pro as well. We learned a ton
I
from
agree.
our
Why have the
partners
battery
like,
on my head?
BOE
Apple
with
agree.
their
Apple's
optics,
design folks agree.
Qualcomm, they've done an amazing job as well. And so we're grateful that we even have the opportunity to figure out how do we sort of move into this next generation of computing. But again,
Folks here in the YouTube chat are saying, "Where's the demo?
Hit the nail
No
on the head.
demo?
So
Show us the demo."
The iPhone is 55% heavier than the Visor. Quest 3 is 150% heavier, so do the math, 2.5 times as
Okay,
heavy.
it's smaller, thinner, lighter.
And then the Apple Vision
Show
Pro
us.
is 200% heavier, or 3x as heavy
Yeah, I agree.
as Visor. So getting into our third major breakthrough is utility or usefulness, right? When a lot of people think about AR, VR, they think about
just resubscribed for
nice
76 months.
Even if
Hey,
you
all hope is everything going good C-sharp, party C-sharp.
Oh yeah, we're learning about the
only way in which you
Visor
want to build a headset
VR
is
device
if it's
here.
something worth building, we believe. And so for us, utility and usefulness matter. First off, it can't be blurry.
Folks
So
are saying
4K
it's
per
a
eye, I
misleading
wouldn't want to work on a
comparison
headset
on
to begin
weight.
with unless 4K per eye were a thing to begin with. So that's why we never worked on a headset in 2022 and prior. 4K
I
per
agree
eye,
with the
5 virtual
they've
screens.
moved
Again,
design.
us being able to leverage our software that already
If we're
exists
talking
on
about
other
the weight
headsets,
of things
that already
on your
exists all
head,
the different laptops out there, being able to spawn.
then it's a valid
Some
comparison.
people
Thank
don't
you
really
so much,
understand,
Mott.
why
76
this
months
matters
with
so
us.
much. We've
Tier
seen
3,
so many
that is
startups,
awesome. Thank you so much
probably
for that
over
support.
100 at this point, rise and fall over the past 7 years that we've existed.
Yeah,
who have really struggled to figure out how to
built-in
get virtual displays
standalone
to work.
browser.
How do you work with Apple to allow them to get you to use their operating system and create 5 virtual screens off of the Mac OS? Apple is just going to say, no, don't touch our OS.
Yeah, he's right.
And so our team has been able to figure out a way to earn their respect in a sense, right? But we also do that with Windows and Linux as well.
Weird Beard Dev, I think it's
When it
right
comes
if we
to remote
say we're
collaboration, if I'm
measuring
gonna
how
have a
much these things
device
weigh on your
that
head,
I'm wearing on my head,
then I think it's a valid comparison.
I want it to be something that is something I can't do
because those other
if
things
I
are
am using just a laptop
dangling
screen, right?
somewhere
So
else.
if I could do the same exact thing, here's an example. If I'm going to use a headset just to FaceTime someone, I might as well just use my iPhone. I don't need to use a headset to do that.
No, agreed.
If I'm joining a room just to have a conversation, I can do that on the phone.
Yes,
But if
you
I'm
can.
doing something to
Or a
interact with them in a
Discord room
3D
or
spatial
something
sort of
like that.
way, if I need to whiteboard with someone, if I need to see all of their screens, I need to code alongside them.
Yes.
If I need to play a video game with them, AR, VR makes sense.
I need to play a video
And so the
game
future
with
that we're
you.
trying to build is a world in which you can put on a pair of glasses,
Built-in
teleport to
standalone
the
browser,
office,
that means
to
we
your
can run
friend's house,
Blazor on
whatever,
it.
take it off and you're back home in time for dinner. That's the future, or what we believe is the next generation, generation of computing,
Here we go.
especially
Come
when
on.
it comes to incorporating things like AI. A couple of other things we've also announced, and I know we're kind of running up on time, and so sorry for sharing so much, but that's why I kind of have to move kind of quickly. People have, a ton of users have been requesting, hey, like sometimes I don't even want to bring my laptop with me. Is there a way I can use just the Visor itself? Well, now you can, because we actually are shipping an actual built-in standalone browser. So again, I mentioned, this is a standalone device. This is not a mere peripheral that needs a parent's device like a laptop to operate. It has its own full onboard chipset, the Qualcomm XR2 Plus Gen 2. And it has the actual
Play some
battery
Call
pack
of
with
Duty.
Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built in as well. So you can have literally just the Visor, a rollout Bluetooth keyboard, and have just those two things on like an airplane. And now you have multiple browser windows and you can get your work done if you don't need something like Photoshop or something heavier for a laptop, or that you need a laptop for. There's also theater mode, right? And this part I really love. We want to show you a demo where you're going to be able to see
This kind of
a
tech would
3D
help
movie.
you have
And I've always
off-screen
hated-
space
I've always
where I'm
historically hated
hanging
3D
notes or
movies.
reference instead. I love that idea.
When you would go to a real life movie theater,
Yes, I
and
do
put
have
on
a
like a polarized pair of
Dignitify.
glasses,
I-
it's just a bad experience.
I do. It's right
but
here.
for the first time, if you ever tried the Apple Vision Pro back
I don't
in,
have it on because we're
February
watching
of
this, but
year when
yes.
they first released, you would see that if you ever tried their 3D movies, for the first time,
IRL
it actually
Stardew
looks
Valley.
really, really good. I was actually sharing that
Flying
with
on
Rob,
planes with
Rob,
Wi-Fi. Yes, being
former
able to
president
watch
of Marvel,
movies right
awesome
there.
guy. He also hated 3D movies, and then he tried the Apple Vision
3D
Pro,
movies are annoying.
and it was actually pretty mind blowing for him. You could yell if I'm lying. And so at the end of the day, what we realize is, yes, we do want to focus on a device that's focused on work, but also at the same time, if we can
He's got
allow
something
people
else
to
under that
experience
other
something they
podium,
can't
that other
experience
table.
otherwise through this device, we want to allow that as well. And so we're actually going to be including theater mode as well. Again, platform agnostic and quick boot up. This is another thing that people don't really know to touch up on. Again, the Immersed app exists on other headsets, like
the boot up
Meta
time for a
ecosystem,
Quest
Apple
headset
Vision
is
Pro,
a
et cetera.
good 5 to 10 seconds just to boot up the Quest
Our app's
headset.
Ability, or
Then to start
our
up Immersed
software's
and
ability
get
to boot
ramped
up
in there and all
is
another good 30
anything,
seconds.
Plus
So
whatever
being
it
able to
takes
get in
boot up their actual
in less than a
headset.
minute.
And so for us, we
All
were
right.
never able to control that experience. If a Meta headset
The
or an
affiliate
HTC
link, sure.
headset took 2 or 3 minutes to boot up, well then to get into Immerse is 2 or 3 minutes.
You're gonna have to
plus
copy the
another
whole thing.
15
The
seconds.
click through.
And so
doesn't
for us,
work
we
there.
get to control the experience, and we're iterating every day to make this better
Yeah,
and shorter and shorter.
Billy,
and
yeah,
shorter.
I'm
I
being
want to get to a
generous.
point where
You're
I
right
can just
about the
open
5
up
to
my
10
laptop
seconds
lid,
for the Quest
and
to
then
boot
ding,
up.
5 seconds later, my screens are up and ready.
Yeah.
And so we were never able to do that before, and finally we're able to actually do that with Visor. So the last major breakthrough we believe is affordability. I'm not trying to race to the
It is
bottom.
a premium device, to be
$0
sure.
device or $1. You can get it in a vending
The
machine.
Quest
That's
2
not what I'm
does
trying to
take
do.
a good minute. The 3
and
is
I don't think that's
faster,
the
but
type of device
still,
that we want to sell.
it's a long time.
When we first announced Visor, we announced 2 types of visors, 2 different SKUs. One that was 4K per eye, but
Mhm.
also one that was 2.5K per eye. So lower resolution, but more affordable. Something that was $500 versus the more $1,000 type device. And 96% of people purchased the $1,000 4K per eye device, and 4%,
Yes.
4, like not even 10%, 4% ordered the 2.5K device. That was the most confusing thing. I would have guessed, okay, 70% want the cheaper one, 30% want the premium one.
The
was
price is
way
there
wrong. Our
online.
entire team was
Oh,
way
at
wrong.
that link,
So we were just
Raventhorn.
like, it's not even worth
Copy
it
the
to
whole
put
thing.
the,
It'll get my
R&D money
referral
and
code in
kinda
there as
tooling,
well.
manufacturing, all that stuff for 2.5K device. Let's just scrap it and refund people's money. And so we just completely did away with the 2.5K device. So it shows us that the people that we're attracting are a more premium audience.
Yes.
But now people also now want flexibility. And so what we decided to do is, instead of charging you $1,000, $2,000 up front for a device, we're now going to be charging you, $400 up front, and then you have sort of a monthly subscription. And it kind of serves 2 functions. Number one, we ultimately are
Like
able
we were
to provide
saying earlier,
additional
this is
services on
the-
top of what you get with screens and all,
the
and, data remote
financing
and built-in browser,
that you're
et cetera.
effectively doing,
But
the
on top of
subsidized.
that, if you find additional value in this, well, then you can renew. And then if
Jens,
you don't find
thank
value
you so
in it,
much.
don't renew, and then we lose your business.
Jens
expense, right?
was
So we are
just
incentivized to
resubscribed
create
for
a better and
34
better product
months.
for you.
Hey,
It
Mr.
also helps you
Fritzon's
because
chat.
you have more
Hope
paychecks
you
in the
are
future. So, like,
WLL having a wonderful day.
We
so when
are.
it comes to
Thank you so much.
affordability, we don't want to merely copy the model that makes sense in other contexts, like Meta and Apple, who are
No.
creating entertainment devices. Pay $1,000, $2,000, $3,500 up front. Now you have kind of your home entertainment thing one time. For us, we noticed because we're attracting more of a professional type of user who's used to having subscriptions that they pay for, who has their company pay for it. These are
Totally.
things that companies actually prefer to space out payments. And so that's actually a much better fit for us. And we've seen our conversion rate actually 4.5x as far as the number of people coming to the website and actually purchasing a device.
Yep.
The battery pack itself, as I mentioned, has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in the device. So this is actually a pretty awesome breakthrough and had multiple benefits, even more than we realized. When we first decided to take Wi-Fi and Bluetooth off of the headset,
you can. So
and
it's
put it
more
into
of a
the battery pack
subsidized.
itself,
You
there's a
can
couple of
pay
reasons.
for
Like,
the
number one,
entire
for example,
subscription
there's
up
some
front,
customers who,
or you can
for
pay a
whatever
lower
reason,
fee
can't actually
and
have
have a
wireless on board the
monthly
headset because of how
subscription
restricted their
fee that
job
you
is.
pay.
So they need to buy the device without a battery and just plug the headset directly into their laptop or into their work computer. And so, cool. Now we're in the clear with that, and every other headset is disqualified for that. When it comes to having Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in the battery pack and not on the headset, well, also, for example, Wi-Fi is like an inch by an inch postage stamp space on your face. On
And
top
if you get your
of the
employer
other-
to buy
the
it,
rest
you
of the
don't
circuit
care.
board or motherboard inside your
Yep.
headset. And so every little gram and every little millimeter matters when it comes to designing this headset. As I said, it's 41 millimeters from kind of your eye to the front of the device. And if we were to put more and more things in the headset, we wouldn't be able to achieve what we have thus far. And so over time, we want to continue to put more and more stuff off of the headset until simultaneously the technology on the headset can miniaturize as well. But in the meantime, we know that this is a good enough solution because our users are not exercising, running around a room. They're just sitting stationary at a desk, getting their work done. So oftentimes, the battery pack is literally just going to sit next to their laptop. It actually plugs into the laptop as well. And what that does is it provides power as long as your laptop is powered. It continually charges the battery. And then also, as soon as you want to be wireless, you unplug the battery from the laptop, put it in your pocket, and you walk up maybe to a whiteboard, start whiteboarding, go to your kitchen, grab a cup of coffee. And then as soon as you sit back down, plug it back into your laptop, and your bandwidth
Off and
or
running
latency from your screens from your laptop to your screens and your headset are even faster. So we realize it's just a very easy sort of benefit. This is the head strap that people have been looking for.
You got it.
So for us, when we thought about the type of head strap that we wanted to build, I love seeing all the iPhones come out, or Android devices, whatever. All the smartphones come out. I don't know, we have gamers in here. You guys use Android devices. I'm just kidding. So when it comes to the type of head strap, the biggest complaint, not only for all of our users who work with the headset on, but even myself, is every headset I put on.
Interesting that they're going horizontal across the head instead of
if I'm
vertical
working in the
across,
office by myself and I have a headset
right?
on,
Going
and then I have to go to a conference
left to
meeting
right
with people who are physically
instead
there,
of front
well, now
to
my hair
back.
looks like this, and so I have to do this on the way
Interesting.
there. And so, and it makes sense. The tech giants who are creating a gaming-focused device, they don't have to worry about your hair because you're at home, you're gaming, that's fine. But for us, we have to think about people who are at coffee shops, people who are on an airplane, people who are in the office. Our head strap needs to be something that at most presses down on your hair and then comes up off of your hair.
You can order
right?
the 4K
so
screens for $190 and print the glasses on a 3D
over
printer.
The top, it actually is something that you size at one time. On the back, it's not a Velcro thing that slides across the back.
Get all the
it's something
circuitry to hold that together, but
kind of more symmetrically. So it actually presses down on your hair. When it comes to the weight balance, that's another thing that people have complained about.
Yeah, it looks like
this
dental
device,
braces,
quote unquote, doesn't have a battery on the back. That's a separate conversation. For us, we realize that we don't want to make the mistake that other headsets have made, which is using compression physics to like squeeze this watermelon.
Look
and
at
just,
this
like, crack
dude
your head.
and hair.
We want to use the type of physics that are more kind of like a seesaw level.
Doesn't matter. I'm wearing a hat.
Sorry, lever fulcrum physics that ultimately place almost like a pivot point over the top of your head, like a pair of Bluetooth Bose headphones or something, which you already there's already proven ergonomics there, and there's already proven workflows, and people are already okay with that. If you follow that same flow, well, now what you do is you actually get to leverage the fact that now you have a back strap you can pull down, and the 180 grams on the front now becomes 100 grams or 0 grams, depending on how well you can really size this to your head. So it gets to the point where it actually feels weightless. When it comes to the actual gasket or
the
light
gamer's
blocker.
dent.
So the visor itself, again, to make it more palatable or approachable to everyday
they've
people,
talked about doing
it actually
lens
has just
inserts for this,
sort of a nose piece and kind of the stems,
just like you do with
then
the
when it comes
Quest headset
to,
also.
If you're watching a movie at
So
home,
they have a
you don't
vendor
want
they're
light to
partnering
leak in,
with
and
to do
it doesn't matter if you
inserts.
have kind of more of a VR
I
headset
wear
looking thing
contacts
with a
when I
head
use
strap. And so
my
that's
VR devices.
What we actually have the sort of face gasket for. It actually magnetically attaches to the headset itself. A couple of different angles as well. This is what it looks like with the head strap and the light blocker together. And without it, because I'm not a fan of light blockers, but I do it for you guys. The next thing I'm about to show you is one of my favorite things.
Okay, show me your favorite thing.
So the visor case.
We've been asking about cases on the Discord. The community,
for me,
folks like me
one
have
of
been
my
asking
biggest,
about it.
Struggles with having this past
And I'm
7
okay
years
with
used a
getting
headset
special
with my
lenses
laptop
for
and
it
try
if
to
I'm
be
going to use it
portable with
without my
is
contacts.
I always have this massive
You have a VR treadmill
dinosaur
too.
egg-looking
Nice.
shaped thing that I have to carry with my backpack, and people ask me, "Why do you have a dinosaur egg with you?" And
I agree, Motz. It's
and on top
very
of that,
unique.
whenever I'm flying, half the time
it's
the
very
flight attendant's
unique.
like, "Wait, are you
the
allowed
weight,
to have that?"
the
Because that
design.
looks like a third carry-on.
This is,
And so
in
I'm
my
like,
mind,
man,
this is what
need to
Apple
find a
should have
way
released for
to
their
make sure that
Vision
when I
Pro.
bring my headset with me, it's just alongside my laptop,
Let's see what else.
inside my bag. And so
I agree.
The
And
visor
Raventhorn,
case
show us a
is
demo.
actually sort of this more clamshell sort of thing, where it's really just barely bigger than the size of your visor.
Carrying
it's something
the Meta Quest
can go
headsets
inside your
is
laptop bag
so
alongside your
painful to
laptop.
take
and
with
is
me
included
anywhere.
with every visor, because we want
This
people
looks
to be
like it'll
mobile
fit
with
in your
their
backpack easily.
visor. We don't want people to feel like it's something that has to stay at home because it's so big and bulky.
Yeah.
The next thing I'm also
Right.
excited
I
about
want to travel with this.
is our large case, which if you're here, you're going to get one. We have your email. Cool. The large case is not a case. It is a backpack. Ooh.
What?
So the reason why we decided to do a backpack is because if you are the person who wants to have not just your visor, but extra batteries and extra cords and whatever, there's no way of getting around carrying a dinosaur egg with you. So I'm like, all right, well, at least let the dinosaur egg be on your back. And you could also throw your laptop in there too. So wherever you have your laptop with you, you could also have your visor with you as well. So when you think about your visor and your laptop, those two things go together. Your visor should be really an extension of your laptop, and maybe someday, in a few years, 5 years, 10 years, or 2 years, you would no longer need a laptop. And eventually, your visor becomes your next generation of computing. Your visor becomes
TSA is going to get a kick out of this.
Computer. And so the large case, we'll call it a backpack, will actually be selling for $129. It's something that we want to make sure is not too priced out of people's range. We also want to know, hey, it's a valuable thing. It's got power to it as well.
Yeah, I see
if you want to
power
charge
on
your
the
cell phone,
side
you can
there.
plug in with USB-C as well.
Tell me
and I know
more.
we're like way over on time here, so I'll kind of wrap up here.
No, don't wrap up here. Show us a goddamn demo.
The Visor, like I mentioned, we've been flexible on pricing, and we just want to make sure that we're doing a good job building a business. We are a startup. We're now going from potentially friends and then frenemy territory, maybe over the course of time, some of the tech giants we've been partnering with, if they don't want to play nicely with us as we move forward, as much as I'd like to, okay, well, we got to make sure we're around, right? Like that we don't have to go fundraise all the time, but we actually making a good, profitable business. And so Visor's pricing
hard
actually
case
will be
smart
going
luggage
up
thing from away. Yes, I have one of those.
Upfront payment.
No, it's not an unreasonable
so after
cost.
October 1st, it will actually be
but how much more space
upfront,
for other stuff
and
do
then
I
the
have
monthly
in there?
payments will be the same for the subscription. And again, if we
okay,
don't
so
earn
they're
your
raising
business
price
after
on
the
October
first,
1st.
Term is over, cancel it, and then we'll lick our wounds. I think one thing that
Renji is a very
we're really excited about
honest
is
and transparent
the fact
guy
that
about what his goals are
the
and what he wants
way
to
in
do.
which we have sort of presented AR, VR, and the way that we presented how this can be something that doesn't have to be a foreign topic for people. It can be something that everyday people can use. It's been very validating and encouraging just to see the amount of traction that our team has seen, even just on social media, right? Just this year, we've hit
they've crossed
on
1
YouTube
million
alone,
subscribers on
800 million
YouTube.
views. Across all
You
social
can
media,
see it
about
down here.
1.2 billion views,
1.25
with
million
$0
subscribers to their
spent on
account.
ads. And that's really just
I
people
only have 13,000
talking
on
about
YouTube.
Visor, talking about, okay, well, again, desktop, laptop, mobile devices, smartphones, tablets, what's next? It's going to be a pair of glasses. Who's going to figure this out? And I'm not saying
I
it's
think
us.
they figured.
I think we have a
figured it
shot.
out. I think they got really
But one
close.
thing that we've really seen is a lot of our new users and now customers are people who have never owned a headset before. Visor is their first
Show the device.
AR VR device that they've ever purchased.
Yes, it is available outside the
and that's
States.
something I think our team is really, really
Yes.
proud of. We're really, really excited for this upcoming year because we truly believe that 2025 will become the dawn of spatial computing. Finally. So,
Yeah.
thank you, guys.
That's it? You're not going to show the device? You're not going to talk about Okay, so they've actually shown the device. Okay. So okay, the folks that are there in person are getting demos. The folks that bought the Founders Edition are getting demos. Looking in the Discord. Yeah, folks are saying, why no demo? Yeah. So they haven't said the shipping deadline. They haven't said it. So I have the Founders Edition. This is the first batch that will ship. So you're paying effectively for a premium to get the first batch of devices. Gets you lifetime subscription to their to the immersed service, signature look, official seal, and it comes with a 3-hour extended battery. The 4K comes with the 3-hour extended battery. They recently added that. So, and the light blocker he showed there at the end. I was hoping to see a demo, and is there a reason why this is not the form factor of Vision Pro? That's exactly my question, Jens. If they've already the Vision Pro already pushes a lot of the stuff out to here, out to the battery pack. So, I don't know. Not clear. C# Fritz Blue Edition. So, right, I got the black, and I originally ordered the blue shield, but because I have a Founder, I can get the red flare shield, that custom Founders only version. But the blue does look hot. It really does. Screech Rat!
Screech Rat just resubscribed for 52 months. Time flies when you're having fun.
The gold looks cool. Somebody was saying about get it Geordie LaForge style. It's not the barrette across the front, but definitely the gold look you could do. Right, and then there's rose gold, whatever. But I got the black with that because I feel like that looks like that typical pair of sunglasses. Space Shot with the
Space
resub.
Shot just resubscribed for 62 months.
Thank you so much. 62 months. Much appreciate the resubs. Thank you so much, friends. So that's all they did for their announcement here. This is something that has been hanging out here, and for folks that are international, could become a little bit dicey. They're going to calculate taxes before delivery. So I know I'm going to have to pay tax on this when they finally announce delivery. But there's also, right, I'm going to have to pay at least tax on that, plus shipping costs. So I'm expecting that I'm going to have to pay at least another $100 when they start shipping these. But that also means that all of the, the import fees that you might have in the UK and Europe, yeah. Send it to you, Raventhorn, and you'll... So these prices are just the beginning. There's additional fees and things here that need to be calculated and added on, and so 2,200 euros in the EU. Oof, that's a lot. I'm actually right at time here, closing in. Yeah, because I have a noon meeting about .NET Conf. So I'm looking here. The Discord, their Discord is blowing up. No shipping dates announced. There's a interview with Renji after lunch. They're saying with a Q&A. And some folks are saying that shipping's not going to be for another 3 months. I've heard from folks who are a little bit closer to the company that shipping's going to start in October. I've heard that. I don't know if it's true. It's a rumor. Way too much time talking about wait. Initial shipping October 2024, it says on the website. Where? Is it? There was an FAQ section. Initial shipping start in October 2024. And then the non-Founders Edition will start 6 months later. So we'll see. In the cart page when you pre-order. Yeah, there's all kinds of terms here. Initial shipping starts October 2024. Yeah. So I get the beta test version. If Mott's, if you use that link that I shared, and I'll push it up there again. If you use that link, you'll get a discount, and I'll get one as well. So yeah, it's in the FAQ as well. So the Founders Edition is the one that I ordered. It's got the 4K displays, and I just think the red black is hot. I think the blue is great, but the red is limited edition and only comes when they ship this first batch. So I was like, all right, I'll order that one, and hopefully I can get the blue later, because the blue is really more my style. You know, I would kill if there was a purple to black one. Oh my gosh, I would kill for a bit. Can't wait for a stream where I spend the entire stream using it while coding. So I can show you immersed while coding. I can do that. Like, and I've done that once or twice before. It's very doable. We can do that on stream. It's not showing you UK prices. Right, there's this. So if you refer friends, there's discounts that you can get there. So that's why I'm saying, if you use mine, you save a little money, I save a little money, everybody's happy. I agree. Purple would be fantastic. Would be just killer. Really killer. So, there we go. That's the story about the Visor device. Sounds like it's going to be interesting. I hope. I hope I get mine before year end. I hope it's an early Christmas gift to myself. They are shipping them in the order that the orders came in. So if you order now, yeah, you'll be in the first batch, but you'll be later in the first batch. I ordered mine in April. April? March. Beginning of March is when I ordered mine. So, we will see. We will see what happens. I'm excited. I hope I hope it pays off. I hope it's the real deal. So you'd love to see the immersed view on a stream? Yeah, the link that it generated, you have to copy the whole link. You're not going to be able to click it. Yeah, the link is broken for some reason. I don't know why. Right? So, see, pasting that in, for some reason, it cuts off at the question mark. Right? I don't understand why. No. Do I have information when the copy pilot will be available during debug? What do you mean, copy pilot? Have I pre-ordered? Yes. Yep, pre-ordered back in March. And I ordered the Founders Edition. That's interesting that that works. But does that go to... It goes to the page. Yeah. Interesting. So, Copilot. The Copilot will be available during debug? I don't know. I don't have any information on Copilot. I don't work on Copilot. I can't help you with that. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Wow, Mott's, thank you. That's very cool that you ordered. Yes, I got the referral. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate the referral and the order. Yeah, I think it's an exciting device. Immersed, if you try it on a Meta Quest headset, it also works on the Vive. It also works on the Apple. It's a fantastic application. Yeah, the referral code drops out of the URL. The Meta Quest, I think, is an amazing device. Really made that commodity easy to access. But when you put Immersed on it, now it becomes a business device that I can use while coding. And with a wireless keyboard, and it sounds like, Mott's, it sounds like you have a Digma Defy also. That wireless keyboard with a Bluetooth mouse means that backpack type of configuration that Renji was showing during the session, that feels like something that I can get behind. But then how hot does my notebook get inside the device, inside the backpack? And there's other questions I have there. How big is the backpack? Can my laptop fit in there? And so on and so forth. Immersed. Check out Immersed VR. And that's the application that the Visor runs. Let me head back over to the full screen. Immersed VR.com. So it goes to Immersed.com. All right, fine. So, right, it runs on a couple of these different headsets. but it gives you that ability to put 5 displays either in virtual space or in augmented reality space and hang them right in front of you wherever you're looking. On stream unboxing, for sure. For sure. So this is a free application to download and run on whatever headset you're using. You can pay a regular subscription fee to get additional features on it, higher resolution displays and interactions. The more you use it, though, they'll give you credits to have those higher resolution displays. Really, really cool. You wouldn't mind not having it hooked to your PC and having it working as multiple monitors? That's exactly what I do, Raventhorn. But here's the deal. The battery on the Quest 3 headset will last about 2 hours while you're working. So what I do, I have a really long 10-foot USB-C cable that comes with the Quest 3 that I plug into an extension cable, so that then I can stand up and walk around and sit down again while having the headset on, and it's constantly getting power, so it doesn't reduce power. Can I show? Give me a second here. Let me see if I can do this. So when I was in Las Vegas, they gave me a suite. Thank you very much. At the MGM Grand, and I had a penthouse suite. Thank you so much. So I had a lot of room in my hotel room to set up and walk around and do a bunch of things. So I had there's a wet bar in the hotel room, and where the heck did the pictures go? There it is. Yeah, I can show that. So this is what my hotel room looked like in Las Vegas. Okay, so I had a little dining area right here. Right, there's the wet bar, and then there was a couch and a sitting room with a TV on this wall and a desk way at the end here. And this was out overlooking, and you can't see it because of the sun outside. But the Tropicana is out here on what's left of the Tropicana is out here on the left, and on the right is New York, looking out over there. So this was really cool. So I sat down at the bar because in VR space, you need a lot of light so that it can see your hands. So when you're working with VR, I sat down at the bar because I had this great set of overhead lights here. These little incandescent bulbs in the lamps, it wasn't enough, but sitting at this bar, I could spread out, and you see the plug over here on the wall. So I plugged in my laptop and had the laptop sitting here on the bar where my mouse is, and I had the I bring a 4-port power adapter everywhere I go now. So I had the laptop plugged in there and the headset. So I'm sitting at this middle chair, and I've got my Defy keyboard in front of me. I've got my mouse next to it, and there's no display because the laptop is over here just above the sink. I realized that was a mistake. I didn't knock the laptop into the sink, but I had the laptop sitting over here, and I'm sitting looking over this way towards the dining area with the headset on, and it was amazing. Amazing. Yeah, the frame of the Tropicana is all that's left there. So both links do work and set the referrer value in local storage. Thank you for checking that, Billy. Appreciate that. See, this is what happens when you have web developers looking at links. Do you have to use a mouse, or can you look at or point with your finger instead? You're supposed to be able to look at and point with your finger. I've never gotten that to work. I feel more comfortable using a mouse, so I just use a Bluetooth mouse. The Pico 4, you have the same thing, plus 4K camera view. So that's what they're saying about the cameras. He didn't get into the cameras during the discussion, but he says that the cameras are higher resolution. So that makes me think it's going to be nicer walking around with the visor on than the Meta Quest headsets that don't have as high resolution cameras. What is that, Pranush? I'm sorry, I'm not going to cover that. And sorry, I'm gonna purge that. No. That's not the kind of content and discussion that I want to have on my stream. So it is like carrying 5 screens in your backpack. Yes. And think about how much. So I forget who it was who said earlier, think about when you buy displays. Somebody said, hey, I've got 3 displays here at my desk, and gosh, I'm due for an upgrade. Replacing each of those 3 displays is $200-300 American. So you're in at between $600 and $900 to replace those displays. If you can get 4K displays that are comfortable and lightweight and easy to use, that you can take anywhere and have it right there in front of your face, it's a good trade-off at that point. Because now not only do you get those 3 displays, you're going to get 6, right? No, you get 4 additional plus the initial display, the physical display, 4 virtual, 1 physical off of your laptop, and take it wherever you want. Now we're talking. That's why I'm excited about this, is now I can take that collection of displays wherever I want. Because when I was a developer, a senior developer working at a website company, I had 4 displays at my desk, but it was 1 by 4. It was 1 display high and it was 4 across, because whenever they got new displays and somebody said, I don't need this one anymore, I would say, fine, if nobody's going to use it, and instead of putting it over in the scrapyard, I'll just take it and hook it up to my computer, and now I've got 4 across. So I had 4 across, and it was amazing because I could put database and on one screen, email on another, web browser on another, and coding on the last one. And that was fantastic to work with and know exactly where I was working and centralize stuff. But to do it and have all that is a lot of power, and it's also a lot of horsepower for your PC to drive all of those physical displays. But to have one device that does all of that off of its own power and its own computing, that it's got, I'm in. I'm so in. It is time for my meeting. You're right, Raventhorn. You heard my alarm. So I'm very excited about the device. Check out Immersed. This is a free application that you can download and use on just about any headset. Okay. And supposedly, I haven't done it, but there is multi-screen sharing and telepresence to be able to work in the same room. If there's interest in me doing a live stream in Immersed, not broadcasting out to Twitch, but if you've got a headset and you want to join me on Immersed and we talk about something together, we build something together, I can set up and do this at some point in the future. I do have all the capabilities for that. But I absolutely agree. There were folks saying, can you show us Immersed on stream? I don't have anything tomorrow morning. Maybe we can do that tomorrow morning. But to do a live stream in VR space talking about code and building something with a .NET Aspire or Blazor together in VR space would be a lot of fun. VR Mechatronics bought the Quest 3 first, but the battery in the front killed all the comfort. Agreed. The battery in the Quest 3 is in the front, so it does pull your head forward a little bit. It's not... There's a balance thing that happens there. The Quest 2... My Quest 2 is at my other desk. The Quest 2, I bought the external battery pack that goes on the back, so it load balances a little bit. Nice. The Pico 4 has the 50-50 balance. That's cool. The Vive that they announced yesterday, right? The new HTC Vive. It's what, the Vive 4 that they announced? Vive Focus Vision. Here it is. Right? It has a massive bumper in the back because the battery's behind it. And you can swap out the battery. There, you can see it there. But, I mean, this thing is huge. Right? Has the same Qualcomm Snapdragon processor in it. Right? And you can see, oh, look, they're doing the VR thing, taking apart. Yeah, that's great. Nobody does this! we're all writing code or doing Excel spreadsheets. Right? It is a massive... There you go. You can see just how big the thing is in the back. Like, that's a lot. It does look like Special Forces gear. So, that's why I think Quest is a winner here. I really do. Not Quest. Visor is a winner here. Quest has done a nice job pioneering and building out some of this. Look at how thick that is up front. Look at how thick that is. And it costs $1,000. Granted, when all's said and done with the subscription fee, yeah, I'm paying more than that. But my initial outlay of $1,000 just to get the device in hand? So, it's been a blast hanging with you today, talking about VR, looking at what's coming with the immersed device called the Visor. If you're interested in it, check out the link. I really appreciate if you use my referral code. You save a little money. I save a little money. That's all a good thing for all of us. Yeah, I think that's what I was just showing. Deluxe, the new HTC Vive XR Elite. I think that's what it's called. So, adding all these terms onto the end of the product name gets confusing. Like, have you ever looked at the branding, the model names for an RV, for a recreational vehicle? Oh, it's disgusting. Oh, it's awful to try and track what these things are, because they just keep adding suffixes on the ends of things. So, it's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you spending time hanging with me, because this is a device and a form factor working in virtual reality that I'm passionate about, that I really enjoy. But I do need to go. I need to jump into a meeting here where I'm going to be talking about the .NET Conf keynote. .NET Conf is November 12th through the 14th. Broadcast live right here on Twitch and YouTube. We want everybody everywhere to be able to watch .NET Conf. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to register for anything. Tune in on your favorite device, your TV, whatever it might be, and you'll be able to join us November 12th through the 14th. I'm planning and working on the event. We've been working on this since about March. We're working on the keynote today. Can't share that information with you until the event. But I can tell you that call for content is closed. We're reviewing the sessions. We're getting ready to make some announcements on that. And we're working on the keynote this week. All right? Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure having you with me. I'm gonna try and come back tomorrow, and we'll see if we can do some coding in Immersed tomorrow. Let me take a look on Twitch. For those of you on Twitch, let me see if there's anybody here that we can raid. We can share some of the love and get connected to. Looking around the horn here, I see... Thank you so much. That's telling me, hey, you're late for your meeting. I'm going to get you connected to... I'm going to send you over to Tim Baudet. And what's Tim doing? He's learning and exploring Git. Oh, okay. Okay. Just in time. Sorry. There it is. There's even the start. So let me do the raid over to Tim Baudet. Thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, there's lots of great videos that I've made that are over here, down below, and we're building and recording more of that content. I will see you tomorrow, and we'll be doing some coding in VR and see how long we can do that before we make folks sick. All right? Have a fantastic rest of your day, wherever you might be. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care. Hit the button! There it goes.